I'll call this. Seriously? I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
I will fuck you up. KO. I will fuck you up. The
𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗧 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗧 Trooper 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗧 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 Trooper 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗧 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗧.
My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy.
He is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
have
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never gonna stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. Oh, we got shadows again. Hold on. Hold on. We can't have that. Go away, shadows. Go. Go. All right. That's not bad. That's actually good. Okay, cool. All right. What's up, peeps? How's everyone doing out there tonight? It's your boy here. Welcome to the show. This is, they call me Aidan Kearney, a.k.a. 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗧. You can call me Clarence Woods Emerson. That's what I go by on the Facebook machine. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy. Old school turtle riders are known to do that. I prefer doctor, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because it's just cool to be called doctor. And if Jill Biden gets to be a doctor, then I'm a doctor too. So fuck it. You can call me Daddy is also acceptable. although not required, because I can understand that could be a little bit weird. But I really don't care what you call me. I just ask that you be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because we're getting close to 102,000. We're going very slowly. It's not like the old days. We're up to, what are we at now? 101,988. Can we get that? All right. So there's how many people are watching on YouTube right now? 2,663. Okay. So, I got to take my shoes off. I can't have my shoes off. All right. So we need 12 of you people to smash that subscribe button, because I'm sure at least 12 of you haven't done it yet. Can we get to 102,000 tonight? Is that too much to ask for? Let's refresh. 989, 11 away. 11 away. Come on, folks. Let's go. We're getting so close. And give us a thumbs up. That helps too with the algorithms. Leave a comment, all that good stuff. Let's see where we go. 992. We're only 8 away. I know there's like, how many people are out there watching now? 2,893 on YouTube alone. And I know that at least 80 of you haven't hit the subscribe button. Don't cost nothing. Do it again. Come on. 94. We're 6 away. We're 6 away. If you already subbed, you can't do much if you already subbed. But I know there's 6 people out there who haven't hit the subscribe button. I know there's got to be 6. Let's try again one more time. 99. We just need one more. One more. Okay. Let's see. Come on. Come on. We did it. We're 102,006, baby. We're there. We're there. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay. We finally did it. We finally got over 102,000. All right, cool. Anyway, guys, what's happening? Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys like the program and you want to have your message read out loud to the class, you can click at the link, click at the top for the link to Turtle Chat, and you can donate or give, pay, whatever, at whatever amount of money you want. And you get to do a little message when that happens. Get a little message. And I will read your message out loud to the class. Or if you like Cash App, you can Cash App me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. All right. So let's check out if we have any turtle chats thus far. What the fuck happened? I lost it. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I'm not logged in. Hold on. If I get logged in, it'll be easier. Turtle chat. Hold on. I lost the turtle chat. Turtle chat wall. Hold on. Okay, I got it back. Okay, good. We're good. All right, first one's from Chelsea. Chelsea sends $10 and says, "Congratulations on your big win today. Hopefully you'll soon be forever free of the fake victim. I'm so happy for you." Yeah, you and me both. Oof, what a great win that was today, baby. What a great win. So thank you very much, Chelsea. You know, we're not completely out of the water yet. Obviously, I got a lot more legal issues going on, but you know, one at a time. And this was honestly one I was just like, whew, it's nice to get a win. It's nice to feel validated by the court. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. All right. So thank you for that. Next one. Okay. Joanne sends $10 and goes, "As I said 7 months ago, nobody puts Turtleboy in a corner. I mean, they can try. They can try, but I don't sit in the corner for long. You know, I escape. I get out. So thank you very much, Joanne. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $10 and goes, "Very ironically, Grande refused to cover the Karen Reed hearing, and 𝗃rusty refused to cover your hearing. Also, can we all just chip in for a polycarbonate expert? It shouldn't be much more than round trip expenses and a few meals of food." Yeah, we need a lot of different experts, Apple experts, all sorts of polycarbonate experts, etc. But as you were saying, yeah, the Grande thing. Yeah, Grande. We're going to talk about Grande, his coverage today. He didn't talk about the Karen Reed case at all. and Krusty refusing to cover my hearing. Yeah, my hearing was not televised or streamed at all. And honestly, we got upstaged. It was like which is fine by me. I wasn't expecting anyone to be at my hearing, but because, I can't compete with the 𝗃𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗃, obviously. And especially somebody like Dr. Marie Russell's flying in for this. I can't compete with that. For my little rinky-dink restraining order renewal hearing. It's not even like a regular restraining order hearing. It's a renewal. So I can't compete with that. So I really wasn't, I would have been fine if no one came. Like I would totally understood, because it's a sideshow. It's stupid. And, but they only they did the small courtroom again. So no one could get in. And so it was either stand out in the cold or go to my hearing. And so the courtroom was packed. It was packed. There's no extra seats. So there's tons of Turtle Riders there. It was nice to see you guys. I appreciate the way you guys behaved, because it was like one of those things where it's like, it would have been bad optics because everybody was there on my side. Like the whole crowd was on my side. So it would have been bad optics if, for somebody who was claiming to be a victim and trying to get an order, and then, my people are acting a fool or something like that. It would have been bad optics, but everybody behaved well. And, at the end, like the judge said, he goes, and I just want to say this before I make my ruling. He goes, I want to tell everybody in the audience, I don't want to hear any reaction. We will have decorum in this courtroom. If my ruling is positive or negative, there will be decorum. And I'm like, okay, I see he's going to rule in my favor, and he just doesn't want people to cheer. And I'm like, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And when it happened, when the order was denied, and we're going to get to this, I didn't even look at her. People are like, what is her face looking like? I don't know. I didn't look. I don't want to look. I don't ever want to see her again. Nothing. Like, I don't want to look at that face ever again. I'm so glad that's fucking gone. And it's just the best feeling. And so I also didn't want to seem like I was like spiking the ball, because like I'm happy to win, but it's not about winning and losing. Like I really wanted this to go away. Like this is a real problem. That order gave me a shitload of anxiety, and I testified about it today. We're going to get the audio, and it's understandable why, so I wanted to be professional about this. Like, it's not a joke to me. So, all right, cool. So thank you for that one. Next up here, refresh this one. Elizabeth sends $10 and goes, congratulations, you deserve this. Fuck the fake victim and go Celtics. Yeah, go. Were they playing tonight? They playing the Nuggets? I know they're on the end of a West Coast trip right now. They got smacked down by Oklahoma City the other night. They look good. But we'll see. They'll get it together. They'll be fine. So thank you very much for that one. Leona sends $10 and goes, congratulations on how you made out June Bev is a bitch. June Bev? I mean Auntie Bev? June Bev? Oh, yeah, Auntie Bev sucks so much. So much. I can't stand it. So thank you for that one, Leona. Okay. Courtney sends $10, goes, you're a national treasure, a wonderful father. Oh, thank you. And an incredibly gifted journalist, Aidan. I'm sure you know, but it never hurts to remind the good guys that they are, in fact, the good guys. We love and appreciate all you do and you've done. Well, thank you very much, Courtney. I appreciate that. I don't know about national treasure, but I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel and a website and a Twitter account that likes to report the truth. That's all I am. That's all I'm doing out there. So thank you very much for that. Danielle sends $10, goes, congratulations on the win today. As a former medic, I still cannot understand how the John O'Keefe medics claim that Karen Reed said, I hit him, but they never documented it in their report. You know what? It's so funny you bring that up, because 𝗃𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, I was listening to some of the hearing today, the Marie Russell thing, and he actually had the gall to bust her balls about not including something in a report. She goes, it's in my head. he goes, it wasn't in your report. She's like, not every thought that goes through my head goes in the report. It's like, do you realize what case you're about to take on, douchebag? You are going to take on a case where less reports, just throw them all out. Throw all the reports out. The shit Lenka put in his report about Caitlin Albert leaving at 12:15, that never happened. They said 1:45. The shit about Michael Proctor having the car towed at 5:30, throw it out. They meant 4:15. Same shit, 4:15. The car outside, the Jeep, 3 people said it's there. Everyone else says it's not there. Okay. It's like you're really going to bust balls about reports now? Like reports are suddenly official. I don't think that's a road you want to go down, Spanky. I don't think that's the road that you want to go down about, like, if it's not in the report, it didn't happen, because that's not going to work out well for you. I assure you. Trust me. But thank you. She also says, if you don't document it, it didn't happen. That's EMS 101 and should be called out in court to disqualify their claim. You know, a lot of shit should be thrown out. I'm just like, the whole chain of custody with like evidence, like how is any of this shit allowed into evidence? Like, I thought chain of custody shit mattered. I was under the impression that like police were taught to do this because they're like, well, if you don't do it, then, you know, a crafty defense lawyer can get the case tossed, you know, and a murder can go through or something like that. But apparently it just doesn't matter like at all. So, all right. Cool. Next up, Mary sends $25 and goes, thank you, Dr. Turtleboy. Well, you're very welcome, Mary. And thank you for calling me doctor. I appreciate that. Next up, let's see. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Jen Altman sends $20 and says, Steve Coates or whatever, Cote or Cody, I don't even know. Second stay at the 𝗃𝗃𝗃 House of Corrections. According to Suzanne, I don't know how to pronounce Arundel? Arund. I should know. Suzanne's been around forever. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She texted me this morning and said that Steve Cote was arrested by the state police fugitive task force, just like me. And I said, for what? And she said, violating HPOs and hiding from the cops, waiting to hear when he's being arraigned. Several people will be there and I plan to go. I'll let you know the details. I never got an order on him. I probably should. My dad has an order on him. He's like the most psychotic person ever. That's why I don't bother with him, because he's just too psycho. But I'm glad to hear it finally caught up with him, because that jails are built for fucking people like him. He just needs to be in jail forever and die there, and no one will miss him. Like, ever. He will never contribute anything to the world. He's disgusting to look at. He will never, and he knows it too. Like, he's probably depressed, and like people like that, it's like, just throw him in jail. He's depressed anyway. Who cares? He hates his life. Just put him in jail. No one's going to miss him, you know? He was arraigned today and held on a probation violation. Well, I hope it lasts longer this time. I do. Okay. So there's that. Let me just check if we have any more here. I thought I had another Cash App. No, I think that's it for Cash Apps. Okay, cool. Mike sends $10 and goes on Turtle Chat and goes, no longer going to donate as the closet or pool baby. The fake victim is forever in your past, as she should be. Glad a good guy won today. Congrats. So that's the closet baby account guy apparently has decided that's symbolic. The closet baby was brought up at the hearing today, but it's in the past, like you said. So it's great to see. So if anybody else wants to have their messages read out loud, the link at the top for Turtle Chat is pinned to the top. Pay whatever you want. I'll read your message out loud when you send it, or you can cash at me at $Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. But the closet baby Twitter account is still funny though. That still plays. I don't know. I think it's funny, but anyway, what else is he gonna say? Yeah, cash out $Uncle Turtleboy, whatever. You guys get the point now. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll start off talking about, we're gonna get to the Dr. Marie Russell stuff, obviously, but we got to talk about my day first. Before we do that, we got to check out this video. Fighting 𝗵𝗶𝗧𝗂𝗶𝗂. How bad is this? Guy's a badass. Look at him. I think he could beat up Colin Albert. Look at him. Look at him. Go get him. Get him, Tiger. Get him. Get him, Tiger. Go. Go, go, go. That's our guy. That's our new Fighting Bob. Fighting Bob. Fighting Bobby A. Okay. So let's talk about my day in court. Pull up some tweets. Well, let's actually start with Grant's. So there was no live stream coverage of my event today. So if you wanted to follow along, you had to go on Twitter, and you could follow Grant or Haley. And the news you'd be getting are very different news. One was factual. The other was just a completely fabricated version of reality, like that it's not real. And Grant, let me tell you, Grande was in rare form today. Whew. So, first of all, he just smells like shit. He smells like just straight weed all the time. Like all the time. There's nothing he can do to get rid of that smell. Nothing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this, before I forget, I want to bring this up too. So, and Haley should know about this too. So, you guys remember about, I don't know, it was back in April. We had a hearing to amend the restraining order to allow me to go to court because she kept showing up at courts to kick me out. And I couldn't even, I was worried she would start going to the Karen retrial and I wouldn't be able to go to that and blah, 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 blah. So we tried to vacate the order, and the Judge Pomerol ended up having it amended to allow me to go within 50 yards of any courthouse. And at that hearing, she wanted a lawyer because like holding on to this order for her was like the most important thing ever, like because it's a way to control me, you know, it's a way to stay close to me. Ironically, it's supposed to do the opposite, but it had this effect on her. And so she got a lawyer for that. All right. And the lawyer's name was 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗺. And if you've seen this guy before, he was on the How to Fix a Drug Scandal documentary. He had some flirty emails with Annie Dukin when he was ADA and I think Suffolk County or something like that. I don't know. He denied having anything to do with her, but he took some shit for it. He was in it. And I didn't realize him and I had emailed the year before in 2022. We had exchanged emails. There was this story that I was working on about I think it was a Norfolk cop or Millis or something like that. One of those towns over there. They went to the Medfield Starbucks of all places. And he said he got his coffee spit in by a barista there. I don't know if you guys remember the story. And there was a video and the cop was suing the Starbucks and the barista was charged. And then Michael Morrissey dropped the charges because he said there wasn't enough evidence to move forward to get a conviction. And it's like, whoa, but he's going forward with Karen Reed. Okay. But anyway, the lawyer representing the cop was 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗺𝗺. And I just realized that the other day because I went through some old emails and I'm like, oh shit, I emailed with this guy back and forth. And then he represented the fake victim in court on April 26th. So him and I had previously spoken for a couple months there about the story. Anyway, they raised for that. Like Krusty and crew raised $8,000 for her to have a lawyer for that. $8,000. And I'm like, that's a lot for 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗺𝗺 because he wasn't, you know, he didn't impress me very much, you know. Nice suit, I guess, cool hair, but you know, ultimately didn't I mean, it was hard to take on that case as a loser case. You know, horrible client. You know, what's he gonna do? So anyway, they raised $8,000 for him. And apparently, I found out this week because he told my lawyer this. He only got paid $1,500 from her. So they raised $8,000 and she only paid him $1,500. And then she threatened, he wanted the full, like the rest, the $6,500, but she was dissatisfied, I guess, with the job that he did because the order was amended to let me go to court. So she just refused to pay. And when he wanted the money, he was like bugging her, like, well, I need the money. She threatened to go to the BBO about him and write a complaint. If like she pulled the, you know, like a scam basically. And so he's just like, fuck it. And it just came up because she filed a BBO complaint against my lawyer, 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗧, and Tim saw him at court one day. And I guess they were talking and Tim was like complaining about this bullshit BBO complaint. And then he was like, oh, she tried that with me too. Like she basically, you know, and he just gave up. So it's just like, where'd the $6,500 go? Like, what a scam. Holy shit. What a scam that is. Like, that's wild to me. But, you know, so Krusty, remember, just another, it was her and Krusty, just another her and Krusty scam, taking money off all these. It's the Turtleboy industrial complex. If it wasn't me, nobody would have given shit. People only, they raised $8,000 because of hatred of me. Like people just get, oh, for Turtleboy, fuck Turtleboy. Here's fuck Turtleboy money. That's all that was. And people are like, yeah, fuck it. And they don't care where it's going. They're just like, fuck Turtleboy. Fuck it. Just take all my money. Take it all. Like, I don't give it. Here's my whole SSDI check. You can have the whole thing. So, you know, what a scam that is. What a scam that is. But yeah, so she filed this BBO complaint against my lawyer, 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧, and said that, and now my dad has to write an affidavit. She claimed that when I went to jail, 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧, there was a warrant for my phone and I refused to turn it in. And I said I didn't know where it was. And I gave it to 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧, and 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧 like was intimidating witnesses while on my phone while I was in jail or some shit like that. This is the allegation she made in her affidavit. Now, none of that's true. My phone. So on December 26th, I go to turn in my, I go to turn myself in at the Medfield police station. I know I'm going to be arrested and I know there's a chance I might go to jail for 90 days. And I'm like, obviously I'm not going to bring my phone with me. Right. So my dad drove me there and I'm like, I'll just leave my phone with my dad. And if I get out of here today, I'll have my phone in the car. If not, it's better off that way because when I get out of jail, I don't want to track it down with the Medfield. I don't want them taking this into, who knows? Leave my phones alone. Okay. You took enough of my phones. Like, no more phones for you people. You've taken like 6 phones. No more phones. Okay. My phone. I keep my phones now. That's what I'm doing. So she baselessly accuses in a BBO complaint, 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧 of keeping a phone that there was a warrant for it. There's no warrant for the phone. It's just completely made up. The BBO is the organization that oversees attorneys. And when somebody files a complaint with the BBO, it's just a pain in your ass. You know what I mean? You gotta file paperwork and do shit. And who's got time for this? You know, all it does is just jam him up. And so he's pissed about that. You know, he's never gotten a BBO complaint before. So he's like pissed. And so, yeah, absolutely no warrant existed. Obviously, like, stop it. Also, if you follow Karen Reed stuff, like, they can track your phone. Like, they knew Karen Reed was in Florida. There was nothing they could do about it. All right. So let's talk about the day. So I get there and, so Grant was there and he's the only one with the fake victim. The fake victim is with, Pam, the victim witness advocate. I don't know what Pam thinks. I don't know anything about Pam. Whenever I see Pam, I'm like, oh, she's nearby. Great. Awesome. And it's just annoying that she's treated like a Fabergé egg. It's like, I wonder if Pam believes this. I think after today, Pam can't believe it. Like, there's no way Pam is buying into the victim thing anymore after what she heard today. So anyway, I have nothing against Pam. She's just doing her job. But I like sometimes I wonder what Pam's thinking. Like, does Pam hate me? Does Pam think I'm like a monster? Because I'm really not. I like to get to know Pam. Like, I think if Pam got to know me, that she would like me. I'm actually very charming and like nice, and I'm not a bad person. Like, I promise. You know, I'm a little rough around the edges, I guess, but I have nothing against her. But anyway, I feel like I've gotten a bad rap in Norfolk County. Either way, Grant, first thing he does is he, like, when the hearing starts, he takes his phone out and starts filming. Okay. And the judge, who is an ex-Marine, we'll get to the judge in a minute, named Clifford's his last name. And we're in the military courtroom too. We'll get to that. Never been in this courtroom. And he says something to the extent, like, the judge is like, who is that? Why does that guy have a phone out? And I don't know if he said he was press or what he said, because he does have a press pass, but you need permission from the clerk's office to tape a hearing. You can't just go in there and do it because you're Grant Smith Ellis. So he got in trouble. Okay. He got in trouble. And she's like, got a warning about it. So then Grant, later on in the hearing, when I'm testifying, he tried getting shifty. And he's got his computer out with all the stickers on the back like a child. And, you know, grow cannabis, stuff, stupid shit like that. And the judge stops and he's like, get him out of here. You are taping right now. I can see the light on the computer. And because Grant tried denying it first, he goes, I know you are. And I am giving you a chance right now to leave. Take that computer, get it out of here. If it happens again, you are going to jail for 90 days. And $2,000 fine. You should have seen Grande's face. Like, because he thinks everything's like a joke, like it's funny. When he heard that, he was like, fuck. Like, he was scared. Like, he was like, and God, I wish that that would have been just the cherry on the piece of shit sundae, wouldn't it, folks? If the day that we had today, the great day that we had today in court, if Grande went to jail for 90 days, oh, would have loved that. Because that motherfucker, when I was in jail, he was talking a lot of shit about me. Oh my, jailed blogger. He would always call him. I'd be like, jailed virgin, Grant Grande. But I don't think he would fare well. Like, he would be begging to be put in medical. Like, he would not do as well as I did in jail. Like, and I did not do well. Like, nobody does well in jail. But anyway, so we got there, and I like this Judge Pomerol. Pomerol is great. So there's two judges I know in Dedham District. There's McCollum, who hates me, and Pomerol, who is really, I wouldn't say he likes me, but he's really no nonsense and just fair. I think he's fair. McCollum is the guy that sent me to jail on December 26th and then granted the restraining order on January 8th of last year after a full day hearing, and I was in custody. All right. And so I wanted to avoid McCollum. Pomerol is the guy who amended the order on April 26th, and on March 14th, remember, they wanted to send me back to jail on March 14th for 120 days because I got jammed up on a new charge of violating the order when she showed up to the Karen Reed hearing and evicted me on February 26th. And that was the hearing when, that was the last time we ever saw Mello, was just like, tell me how he's dangerous. And he's like, Your Honor, we don't know what's in his head. We don't know what's in his head. See, but how is he dangerous? He goes, he has a car and he could drive to the gun store and with his car. Remember that? Pomerol was just like, no, this is stupid. Like, no, he denied it. And it was great. So I got to go home. So I like Pomerol. But there was like 40 things on the docket today, like a whole lot of ratchets there, tons of ratchets. And so we're in the main courtroom and my case gets called, and Pomeroy knows from experience that my case is going to take all day. Like my cases always take a while. And so he's like, we're not doing this one in here. We're not doing this. We're going to find another courtroom for this one. Cause he's Pomeroy likes to move shit along. If you've ever been in his courtroom, the dude is the most no nonsense judge you've ever seen. It's just like, he gets so sick of people. Warrant, puts out warrant. The people don't warrant. Enough of this shit. We're moving this along. He likes to move shit along. Like he's like, doesn't like backlog. And so he's just like, we're going to get another courtroom. Okay, fine. So we're not going to have Pomeroy. So I'm like, oh, fuck. We're going to get stuck with 𝗵𝗂𝗻. Oh, great. The guy that sent me to jail. The guy that hates me. The last time I saw 𝗵𝗂𝗻 was during the Karen Reed case. It was cold. It was like cold and rainy like early April. And we were standing in the registry of deeds to get out of the rain. And the registry of deeds is where juries go. So they go up to the second floor, and judges apparently go up there and speak to jurors before a trial. And so 𝗵𝗂𝗻 was walking down the stairs, and I got my phone out, and he's like, I'm not even taking a picture, but he comes down the stairs and he thinks I'm taking a picture. And so he hits me with the umbrella. He hits my phone. He goes, no taking pictures in the courthouse. I'm like, whoa, buddy, we're not in the courthouse. We're in a registry of deeds. Like, what? Courthouse? And you're also not a bailiff. Like, you're a judge. Like, this is not your courtroom. Like, and you also just hit me. Like, that's inappropriate. Like, you're a judge. And everybody saw, we're like, what? Did that judge just hit me? Like, the dude hates me, and he didn't hide it. And I'm like, I could make a big deal out of this if I wanted. I could like go to the police, and like a judge just hit me with an umbrella. Like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, I can make a big deal out of this if I want. And it's the same judge, by the way, 𝗵𝗂𝗻, who, when I was in jail, we tried to get out early, and we appealed our thing to the, the ruling to the SJC. And we said, I never should have gone to jail in the first place because I'm not dangerous. And he's got to have a response to this. And first of all, we said he had no right to sentence me to 90 days. You can only do 60 days if the bail is out of superior court, which my bail was. And he had to admit that, he fucked up there. So judges don't like that when they get overruled by the SJC. So he got overruled by the SJC. And then he had to come up with a way to explain how he's dangerous. And he said that the defendant assaulted a pregnant woman. Didn't assault anyone, not pregnant. Okay. So that I'm like, this guy fucking doubling down on the bullshit. So luckily today, 𝗵𝗂𝗻 said that because of the umbrella incident, that he does not feel comfortable taking my case. So that's good. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. Recused himself, essentially. So no 𝗵𝗂𝗻, no Pomeroy. I'm like, who are we going to get now? So there's this other judge. He does veterans court. He's an ex-Marine. His name's Clifford, and never seen him before. And we got sent up to the veterans courtroom, which is actually much nicer than the other courtrooms. And there's Marine flags in there and shit like that and whatever. And this guy comes in and he looks like a Marine, this dude. And I thought he was good. I thought he was fair. He let so we get in there, and how this works is, she gets to explain what she wants the order renewed for a year, and we get to explain why it's not. Let me tell you, we came prepared for this. We're like, we are not. I needed this order to go away because I'm scared. Okay. Which is ironic because that's not what orders are supposed to do. And I took the stand and I said the same thing, and I meant every word of it. I'm like, I literally have really bad anxiety and like nightmares and PTSD about like going back to jail because of her. And that's it. Like, it's like, because she has this order. She sent me there. Like, she lied and sent me there. And that's going to affect you forever, because it's like, and she enjoyed it. And it's just like, it's sick. So as long as this order is in place, I'm in danger because she will show up to where I'm at. She's done it many times before. She did it June 28th, July 1st, February 26th. She's called me on February 22nd. She's texted me. Like, we had all these instances of her reaching out to me. And if I answer or respond or go near her, then I can go to jail. And it's just like, I'm sick of having this order out there. I don't want anything to do with this person at all. I'd never want to see her again for the rest of my life. Okay. It was a 3-month nothing burger that this is the longest breakup ever. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't want, get me on. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want revenge. I don't want to hurt this person. I just want to forget they exist, you know? And so, but this order makes that hard to do. Okay. And so I need this order to just stop existing so that I can, you know, live my life, if you will. So anyway, but she wants it to continue because this is her way of kind of staying close to me, which is the exact opposite of what an order is supposed to do, because she's not afraid. Now, to get an order on somebody, they're supposed to be afraid and fear of imminent physical harm. Okay. And the only alleged physical harm is an incident where they pushed her on a couch. And we had a witness today, Mary Bagwell, who was who was friendly with her and in the past. And that apparently Mary testified that the fake victim confided in her that the couch pushing incident never happened and that she was pressured to continue to say that lie because she was in too deep. All right. So this was the testimony that was given in court today. Same woman who also has an order on the fake victim because she threatened to murder her and her children and testified to that as well. So anyway, yeah, you have to be afraid. And we walked in there with a stack of about this big. Actually, I got a picture of it. I'll send it right here. Check this out. You guys will like this. So this is the stack of papers we brought with us, okay? These are all the tweets she's made about me in the last 6 months alone. Anytime I'm mentioned, I'm referred to often as the cult leader, the narcissist, the blogger, and the rapist. That's another one I'm frequently referred to as the rapist. And so it's just all of these tweets. One of the tweets literally said, "I'm not scared of him. I'm standing up to him," and blah, 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 blah. And like, we just plopped this down. Like, this is, I think he asked her, like Tim Burrito asked her, like, have you tweeted about him before? Have you posted about him? And she's like, I don't know. How many times do you think you've posted about him? I don't know. Well, if we were to print out all the tweets, how many inches of paper would it be? And it's like about 3 inches, and just plopped it right down. Like, there you go. So anyway, he cross-examined her, and then it was Mary's turn to be she went and she did fantastic and she told the truth. And then it was my turn. And we'll have the audio, play it at a different time whenever it comes out. I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm just going to play it and let it speak for itself. Because again, what she's expecting me to do and what I'm not going to do is, now that the order's gone, is that I'm going to start calling her and, ramping it up. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not giving her what she wants. I will not do that. I'm not ramping it up. I'm ramping it down. Okay. I don't want anything to do with this person. So I debated even discussing this tonight, But I just want to make it clear to you people, all right, because this is what I do. I talk about my day. It's what I do. It's what I've always done. And I just want to make it clear that like I have no intention of continuing this anymore. I feel liberated and free, and I don't want anything to do with it. And I'm not gonna I'm not doing any. That's what she wants me to do, so that she can say I'm a victim. And it's not gonna happen. Okay, I'm free. It's great. I'm so much happier. It's so much better. Being happy is the best revenge. So anyway, I took the stand. And Bradle asked me a bunch of questions, and you'll hear the audio. It's all about kind of reliving that night and the incidents that led up to it. And then, he asked me about, and it got personal. It got like kind of teary in there. It's like he's talking about how, the effect jail had on me. And he's like, she's posted about my mother. She's posted derogatory things about my mom when she died. And she said, his mother, like something horrible, like just being like horrible, And Tim asked us like, so, you went to jail for 2 months and then your mother died a couple months later. Yeah. So she took 2 of the last months of your mom away from you. She did that. Okay. So there you go. And, then I talked about how the effect this order has on me mentally. Like I don't even know if I testified to this, like my first night back from jail, like I couldn't sleep. And I just, cause I was looking at pictures I slept fine in jail. But then when I got out, I remember seeing the shrink like in jail the day before I left. And it was like, I was scared to leave because I'm like, fuck. I was scared to leave because I was scared to come back. I should have been so happy because I'm like, I can't come back. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like it's too, like, I can't do it. I mean, if it happened, I would have to do it, but I can't, I got it, So I got home and I'm like sitting there and I looked at pictures of my kids on the wall. And it was the only time I ever slept in that house since I got back, because it's the first night back, and I'm like, I just want to stay there one night. And it was like 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I'm looking at pictures of my kids on the wall, and I'm like, I contemplated quitting. It was the only time I ever like contemplated not doing this anymore, because I'm like looking at them and I'm like, well, my number one job on earth is being a father, first and foremost. And it didn't just affect me being in jail. It affected a lot of people. It affected my kids who didn't know where I was. It affected my ex, who had to, really pick up the load for, when I'm not around, do all that shit. It affected my family. My sister had to get the kids on the bus every day. It affected my mother and father, who visited me in jail many times, twice a week early on, and then that took away time that they could spend with my other brothers and sisters, kids, their grandkids. Like it affected a lot of people. And I'm like, well, if I continue, I'm in the right. I'm not doing anything wrong by writing about Karen Reed. Okay. I'm not doing anything wrong, but I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not intimidating any witnesses, but these people are hell-bent on putting me in jail. Like it's very clear, like, and they don't care if I'm breaking the law or not, and they're evil. And the only guaranteed way I know that I can guarantee that I will not go back to jail is I just don't write about it. Can't read, right? Like that's the only way, is I just stop. Because they can't, if I don't talk about any of this shit anymore, then there's nothing. But like if I talk about it at all, like who knows? Probably nothing's gonna happen, but it could. And I'm like, so I just couldn't sleep that night. So I went upstairs and I laid in my son's for some reason has a queen size bed. My daughter has a twin, and I just laid in his bed with him. And I slept for like an hour and a half. I got an hour and a half sleep my first night. And recently I signed up to become his basketball coach. Like they needed a coach, and like you check a box if you're willing to coach. And I'm like, he's expressed before that he would like me to coach him. And I'm like, okay. So I signed up, and they asked me to be. I said assistant, and then they're like, we need a head coach. Can you do it? I'm like, he goes, it's like herding cats with this age anyway. First and second graders, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. It's really not that hard. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, and I have to think about this. I'm like, well, what if I go to jail? Like, what if I go back to jail? Then who's going to coach the team? Then what? And it's like, and I'm sick of having to think like that. And this is what I testified to on the stand. It's like, I'm sick of having to think like this. On June 28th, I'm at the freaking jury deliberations outside the Kearney case. That's the day that the Food Stamp 5 showed up. You guys remember this? It was on the news. I think I got it here. Let me see if I can find it. When the Food Stamp 5 showed up. Oh, there it is. Hold on. No, that's not the one. Thought I had it. All right, I gotta. Let's see if this is the one. You freaks. That's her. She's unconscionable. Take a deep breath. Okay, so that's obviously the fake victim and a couple other crazies there. And, I remember when this happened, I'm obviously down there. I was just milling around all day. Like that's all everyone was doing, just milling around. And I'm taking a million pictures. There's thousands of people down there. We're just waiting for the verdict. I'm trying to keep people positive, keep their spirits up. Like it's coming, not guilty. Oh, you guys couldn't hear the sound there? Yeah. Let me see if I can. I'll take this out. Hold on.
We're good. Don't put your kids to the corner tomorrow.
You freaks.
How do you guys feel about the hung jury? I'm sorry? How do you feel about the hung jury? We have faith that the jury will decide based on all the evidence available and that Karen will be held accountable for her crimes.
Take a break.
This is the first time you guys have come out here. Why now?
We're doing this for the O'Keefe family. They've had a terrible act of support. It's unconscionable. This is about the victim, and Karen Reed is not the victim.
How do you guys feel about all the people that have been out here?
Tom CPU might be a pedophile. They have been misled and lied to. Karen killed John. They should all be ashamed of themselves.
They should all be ashamed of themselves. We should be ashamed of ourselves. So this is seeking out media coverage now. Okay. So they knew obviously that I'm there. Like literally, they're quite literally showing up to counter protest a support group that I created. And that's like synonymous with me, Free Karen Reed, like it's like what I've been doing. That's how they all know me. It's like half of them have taken the position they have because they got mad at me, right? Like they say Karen Reed's guilty because they're mad at me. Literally all. I mean, almost every person that took part of this was previously part of Free Karen Reed. So, you know, when this happened, I remember I'm milling around doing my thing down there. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Kimberly Elwood came up to me and was like, she like had this look of death in her face. And she's just like, Aidan, we got to get you out of here. I'm like, what? What's going on? She's like, Lindsay's here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I heard like a commotion going on. And they are marching through the crowd towards me. Like this video is taken, like they're literally marching towards the courthouse. And notice that nobody is engaging with them. Like they literally showed up to disrupt and just yell at people. And I mean, the audacity of somebody who lost 2 of her kids to the state lecturing other people about how to parent. Don't bring us up out of murderer. Oh, we're not. We're not. Karen Reed is not a murderer. Karen Reed is factually innocent. It's undeniable. We're there to actually support not only her, but John O'Keefe peacefully. And notice that nobody is engaging in this. You guys made me so proud, but nobody engaged in their bullshit. You didn't see us marching up and down doing this. They did this. And meanwhile, Kimberly Elwood told me about like that they're coming. Thank God. And was like, you got to get out of here now. Like so many people were so concerned for me. She's here. Get out of here. And I literally had to run and just hide. Like I went over and I found the first police officer I could find a good distance away. I found a state trooper and some Dedham cops. And I filmed the encounter. And I said, I just want this on. I think I might have this video still. Do I have this video? Let me see if I still have this. I don't know if I've ever watched it. I definitely filmed a couple. I filmed this for just for my own whatever, you know. Videos. How do I find videos? Usually it's just the file for videos. Hold on. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Let's see. All right. So it was on June 28th this happened, right? Let me see my videos from that day. June 23rd, June 25th, June 28th. Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. I'm going to send this to myself. I've never watched this before. Let's see this. You guys got to see this. I've never watched this video. We're going to watch it for the first time together. All right, let's see what I got here. All right, here we go. I think I got it. Okay, you're gonna watch this for the first time with me too. I've never seen this before. I taped it just in case, but this is how I had to live my life. All right, let's check this out.
So
my lawyer wants me to just talk on video to police to tell you guys something. So I'm told there's a woman somewhere in the distance that has a restraining order on me. Her name's 𝗬𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃, and that she's basically following me around to try to get me violated. So I just want to document it that I'm far enough away.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen her.
And doing everything in my power.
He knows where she is. He goes, I haven't seen
remain the appropriate distance and honor the order. So,
understood. Yep.
Because I just wanted, my lawyer recommended that I do this. And yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen her, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know who she is.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm aware of her.
Okay.
We're aware. We're aware.
All right. Thank you.
Yep,
Like,
no
I'm
problem.
from Dedham. I'm aware.
This is how I have. My lawyer
live,
wants me to just
like,
talk
my
about
life. You know, like it was. And it's ridiculous. Like I'm a grown ass man running away from a woman, and I'm the one in fear. And I'm just like, this is not how it's supposed to work, Your Honor. Like, I have a right to like live normal. Like I have a right. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just trying to like do this, and she's showing up wherever I am, and it will not stop. Right? There's literally no reason for her to be there. So anyway, the hardest part, honestly, was today when she cross-examined me. So like we came back, we had lunch, and then I'm like, she had an hour to think about what she's gonna say. So it's her turn to cross-examine me. And dude, it was only like 10 minutes. It was intense. It was intense. So I'm like standing there, sitting in the box, and I don't even remember all the questions she asked me. But I remember just being calm. And the 30 or so people that sat there, they'll testify to this. You'll hear the audio and the questions that she was asking me. And it was just like rage in her eyes, just like staring at me and asking me like about like, is it correct? Is it true that you raped me? I'm like, that was a question. And I'm like, no, that never happened. Never. Like it was just fucking insane. The questions being asked, absolutely insane. And like, I didn't take the bait. I stayed calm. I answered a question. She's like, is it true that you tried to get me arrested for wiretapping? And that was retaliation. And she goes, I go, yeah, I did go to the police about that, about you putting a ring camera up in your bedroom without telling me. I did go to the police about that. You know, that you're asking, I'm under oath. I have to tell the truth. And she said, isn't it true that the police did not file charges against me for that? And I said, not yet. Not yet. And she didn't like that answer. She didn't like that answer much at all. But yeah, there were some other interesting moments in the court. But yeah, I don't remember the whole thing. It was just, wow. Yeah, the whole thing, dude. Like if you missed theater today, like if you were, she represented herself and cross-examined me I was on the stand and she cross-examined me. Like that happened in real life. Like the 30 or so people in the courtroom got to see it. And while it was happening, that's when Grant got in trouble too. Like her whole flow was thrown off when Grant got yelled at and the judge threatened to put him in jail because he was, streaming it. So I pay to see that. Yeah, you'll hear it. We're going to get the audio, but there was no, Grant might have. I mean, Grant was illegally taping it. So Grant caught part of it on video. But yeah, dude, it was wild. You guys missed today. Like the Marie Russell thing's obviously bigger, but you missed today one of the most, again, and I will not be, this is the last you're going to hear from me about it. If we get the audio, we'll play it, but I'm not even going to comment on it. It's going to speak for itself. But dude, you missed it. Like fucking imagine, like think of that. The fake victim cross-examining me and like trying to grill me on shit and asking me about like, is it true that you raped me? Like that was a fucking question. And like, is it true that when I was pregnant, you did this to that? And I'm like, well, you were never pregnant. And there was no follow. Like that, there was just like that back and forth. Like it was just fucking wild. And yeah, the audio, we'll probably have the audio in a couple days. But, you know, I saw Tim in the comments. He was there. 𝗬𝗲 was there. A lot of the regulars were there. Like everybody who, it was like, if you couldn't, I mean, it was kind of good. Like it was a good day to have it in the smaller courtroom, the Karen Reed case. Cause everybody wanted to get in there, but they wouldn't let anyone in because there's no extra seats. The courtroom's so small. And so people are like, fuck it. Might as well go watch the Turtle Boy fake victim hearing across the street, you know? So there you go. And, but anyway, so yeah, that's that. All right. So we'll get to the Marie Russell. Yeah. So how it ended, obviously closing arguments. Tim did a great job. You know, just explain why she's not in fear. And he was pissed. Like he can't stand her. But then her closing argument, it was like desperation. It was, she just kept going on and on about my children, and there's people following me wherever I go, and we have to move out and to flee with my children and all this stuff. And people, his followers are contacting me, and just nonsense. And the more she was rambling on, and she couldn't think of what to say. She could not explain why she was in legitimate fear, because she's not in legitimate fear. I'm not a dangerous person. I'm not a threatening person. It's not who I am. All right. You'll never hear me say anything like that to her, even though she's done horrible things and, you know, put me in jail for a crime I didn't commit. You're not going to see me, you know, be violent or threatening, nothing like that. I'll never be like that. So it's just not who I am. Anyway, so it was just interesting to watch how the end, she knew that she was losing this and that she had nothing. And it was like a Hail Mary. It was like a last desperate attempt. And I could hear how badly she wanted to keep this order. Like, she's just like, this is all I have. This is my entire identity as the person who has a restraining order on Turtle Boy. Like, no one's ever gotten a restraining order on me before. A lot of people have tried. And she's bragged about how she's the only one. And this is literally all she has going in her life is that. And it was slipping away. And then, so the judge announced, he goes, before I make my decision, that's when he gave the decorum speech about, like, no matter what I do, if it's negative or positive, you can't react. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, he sees that, like, the crowd is overwhelmingly in my favor, and he thinks they're going to cheer when he announces this. And, like, immediately he announced that there's not enough probable cause here it hasn't met the minimum requirements, he said, to get an order. And so, and I didn't react. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't clapping. And I didn't look at her. She was right next to me on to the left. And I didn't even look at her because I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction. Right. I don't want to see what her face looked like. I'm sure she was upset. I'm sure she was, you know what I mean? And I just didn't want to give her the satisfaction of even looking at her. And because I'm just looking away, moving on with my life, looking away. Don't care if she's happy. Don't care if she's mad. Don't care if she exists. Don't care. Period. I'm done. So I didn't celebrate. And even when I got outside, I tried to remain humble about it. And I tried to not spike in the football. Like a lot of times when I win these restraining orders, and I've won a lot of them, I do a whole thing after, you know, a victory thing. Yeah, baby, we won, undefeated, you know, that whole thing. I'm not doing that with this one. This is like a really serious one. This one really fucked with my life. And I'm not going to have it anymore. So anyway, Judge Clifford got it done, and glad to see that the law works out sometimes. So, all right, cool. So we'll talk about Marie Russell in a second. Let me read some turtle chats here. First up, we got Kendall sends $10 and goes, congratulations on a major victory in court today. May it start the domino effect for the rest of the victims of the shady as fuck Norfolk County DA's office. Cue the duck boats. Yeah, wouldn't that be sweet? We're still going to get the duck boats when this is all over and go through Canton. Yes, we are. All right, next up, Mary Pat sends $10, goes, happy to hear you had a fantastic day in court today. Keep fighting the good fight, doctor. Thank you very much, Mary Pat. Dan sends $10, goes, I know you don't want to talk about it, but I can't believe Rita Lombardi was on Sean in the Gulf. She's so upset about one dinner. Yeah, you know, I don't care. I just don't care. You know, Sean in the Gulf's a fucking moron. I mean, how stupid does he look now that Michael Proctor has a termination hearing essentially on January 15th. You don't have a termination hearing if you haven't been terminated yet. That's the thing about termination hearings. It wouldn't be necessary if you were already terminated. So he just made himself look fucking retarded. And of course, some of his idiot boomer followers, like Suzanne Dawson, the woman who said she was calling Holden Police on me for accusing her of being pro-terrorist. You know, they somehow think that this proves them right. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess Sean in the Gulf, he had a thing on last night. He had a stream back, and of course I'm curious. Of course I'm going to watch it for a bit, and I watched it, and it was like Sean is on meds or something. Like it's like he's like medicated Sean or something now. Like it's like he's like Chat GPT Sean now. He is just doing this Canton Strong thing, which is great. We're going to unite Canton and talk about the good old days, about the block parties back in the day and how we all moved to Canton and, you know, this and that. And which is fine. You know, I have no problem. Like, who is the problem with that? You know, and he had a bunch of Canton people on there. And Rita Lombardi was one of them. And even though Sean in the Gulf's done a lot of fucked up shit and has been working against Karen, it's like, I don't give a fuck. If Rita Lombardi wants to go in there, go ahead. I really don't care. Doesn't bother me in the least. You know, people can, it's a free country. I'm not big into policing what other people do. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to go on Sean in the Gulf show because he's a fucking douchebag, you know, but, you know, whatever. If that's what makes Rita happy, then go for it. You know, it's a free country. Do whatever you want. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she's hurting anyone by doing that. And I don't have time to get mad about shit like that. You know, I just don't have time to get mad about shit like that. It's like I was expecting to see Jen O'Donnell on there too, who I cannot stand. And if she was on, I would have the same reaction. I'd be like, whatever. Like, okay, doesn't affect me at all. You know, like, what do I care? Like, I'm not going on there. It would be different if he was on there, like ripping me, you know, if he was on there, just ripping Turtle Boy. And then she jumped on too with it. Like that would be different, but she's on there and they're literally talking about, like, it was boring. Like it was really boring. Like I was expecting some drama. And that's why he couldn't crack 1,000 live viewers. Like Sean used to get like 5,000 live viewers and he can't get, nobody's watching. Like the 800 people that were live watching were hoping. That was one thing that did surprise me was that she'd said that she was hanging out with Courtney Proctor, or not hanging out with, that she's been doing some signature drives. She's doing some initiative. Rita's doing some initiative in Canton now where she's like getting signatures to change the town elections from April to November, because voter turnout's higher in November. And most towns have their elections like in, you know, the spring, April or May or whatever. And so she's, you know, getting signatures down at Shaw's, and she's like talking about, you know, Rita, it's like she's down there talking about how wants to get along with everyone, you know, to a fault. Even, and one of the people that she said that she had a conversation with and, you know, they got along was Courtney Proctor. And, you know, it's a free country. Rita can do whatever she wants. I'm not mad about it. But let's not forget, I will never break bread with Courtney Proctor. Like, Courtney Proctor is garbage. I don't want to be friends with Courtney Proctor. I don't want to get along with Courtney Proctor. I don't want to find commonality and unite with Courtney Proctor. I want Courtney Proctor to burn. I fuck Courtney Proctor. That's my policy. I don't want to unite with her. I don't want to be friends with her. Courtney Proctor is fucking evil incarnate. Never forget the text messages between her and her fucking shit dick brother, Chip, in which not only did he suggest that Karen Reed should kill herself, but she did too. She did too. She thinks Karen Reed should kill herself so that the McAlberts, her friends, can get away with murder. Courtney Proctor is the glue that hold, and Jill Daniels are the glue that bring the Proctor and Albert families together. Those are the two, Jill Daniels and Courtney Proctor, class of 98. Unite the two families. That's how they all know each other, from those two. Fuck Courtney Proctor. Fuck finding common ground with Courtney Proctor. Fuck talking to Courtney Proctor. I don't want to. I want to hate Courtney Proctor forever. Forever. Fuck her. And I'm sure she feels the same way about me, as she should. Because we are born to be enemies. We are not meant to get along. I don't want to fucking get along with Courtney Proctor. Fuck Courtney Proctor. But, you know, that I also don't live in Canton. But if I did, I would have the same policy. Fuck Courtney Proctor. Like, let's not forget what these people did. Let's not forget what Courtney Proctor did. And so I like Rita. I have nothing against her. I hope she's not doing this over the dinner thing. But that would suck. But she did wish me a happy birthday on my page, so I have nothing against her. But my policy is fuck Courtney Proctor. So anyway, that's that. Okay. Next up, we have here Mary Pat donates $10 and says, I already read that one. Teresa donates $20 and goes, congratulations on your win today. Thank you. I don't know how some people sleep at night and can be so heartless. My mom always used to say jealousy is a disease, and unfortunately there is no cure for it. So doing you. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the congratulations. And I don't know how people can be so heartless. I don't get it. I couldn't do that to another person. Just, I'm mad at you. I'm mad about the way this relationship ended, so you should go to jail. Like, what? That was the hardest part about being in there. On like the second day, I'm like, that this makes people happy. Like, what? This makes you happy? This is horrific. I didn't do shit to any of these people. I didn't do shit to you. And I deserve to be in jail. Like, this is what the fuck is wrong with people that they would want to do that? But I don't know. It's just hard to grasp that kind of evil. So thank you very much. All right. Next up, we have here, Jagged Little Tooth, Jen McRib's debut album. Okay. Krusty Panties sends $5. Krusty Panties refurnished her trailer at Ocean State Job Lot with the $6,500. Yeah, maybe. Jenna sends $10 and goes, I hope Dr. Russell is so goddamn proud of herself today. She kept her composure while absolutely annihilating Hanky Panky, the wannabe expert. The Commonwealth's entire tactic here is to gaslight the most condescending and manipulative way possible. Hanky Boy is grasping at straws, doesn't realize the double standards he's pulling out of his ass. Bev is outwardly biased. Everything about the Commonwealth is cringeworthy, and they're making a national public jokes of themselves. Yeah. So, love you, Turtle Boy. I appreciate that. And she says, keep being real and unapologetically yourself. Well, thank you very much, Jenna. We're going to get to that, but you're 100% right. Like, the clips that I've seen, she did great today. And Hank looks like a fucking douchebag. He does not look good doing this. Like, I don't know what he thinks he's accomplishing. Like, he's just a fucking piece of shit. And he's not good at it. Like, at least Lally was like a lovable loser. Like, he was a piece of shit too. But I think the jury is going to like 𝗼𝗆 more. I think they got 9 people to, well, they had 6 and then, a couple switched here and there. I think they got 6 people to, come around to guilty on manslaughter because of 𝗼𝗆. I do. I think 𝗼𝗆 was such a sorry figure that jurors looked at him like, you know what, that guy, he wakes up every day and he makes the donuts, doesn't he? That guy comes to work every day and he eats his cheese sandwich. He doesn't complain. He's not good. He's not flashy, but he's an honest worker that comes in every day and gives it his best shot. He's not really cut out for this line of work, but good for him. I think that's the way a lot of people the jurors looked at 𝗼𝗆, was they didn't mind him. Whereas 𝗫𝗫cy is not going to come, he's not going to come across that way to them. I'm telling you right now, he is going to come across, because he's a defense attorney. And defense attorneys are flashy, but he's not flashy in like a cool way. Like Alan Jackson's flashy in a cool way. He's smooth and funny and charming, charismatic, all that stuff. Whereas 𝗫𝗫cy is a nerd. He's like straight out of central casting for Revenge of the Nerds. This guy, like, he sounds like a nerd. He looks like a nerd. He's a nerd, but he's like a nerd who thinks he's like a badass. And he was like sarcastic today. And it's just like, bro, he's so unlikable. And a jury's going to pick up, a jury ain't going to like that shit. A jury is not going to like him. Like, you're picking on, I mean, the optics of it too. She's like 70 years old, isn't she? She's like a well-respected doctor and you're like giving it to her. You're going to treat, people aren't going to like, they're not going to like that shit. Richard Green's like a nice guy, right? They're not going to like that shit of you picking on them. And now dude, he met his match though with these because he's going to get away with this shit with Rich Green and Marie Russell, because they're like nice people and they're older and whatever, but like the 𝗪𝗃 guys, they're nice guys too, but they're so much smarter than him. And it's just they are gonna fucking destroy him. Like, if he wants to fuck with the 𝗪𝗃 guys, and he did file something today, like I called it, didn't I? Of course he's gonna try to keep them out. Of course he is. That's his only move. He's so weak. Like, how anyone on the other side can think that this is a sign of strength, what 𝗫𝗫cy is doing right now. This is a sign of weakness, that you're so weak and you're so unable and unconfident in your ability to try this case and get a conviction based on the evidence and the existing witnesses, that your only hope is to just eliminate the defendant's most effective witnesses. Like, that's it. That's all. That's the only move you can pull, is maybe we just don't let her have a defense. Then we'll have a shot. What a sign of weakness. Like, if you're on their team, like, bro, that's all you got is like, it's like playing the Patriots back when we were good. And like, maybe we can break Brady's knees. That's always a solution. That's your solution, is break Brady's knees. That's how you're going to beat him. You're going to take out you're going to take out Gronk and Edelman and all his best friends. Like, what? That's your plan. That's not a plan. That's a loser plan. It's a loser plan. And it ain't going to work. Yeah, but you could even have to get rid of Marie Russell. There's going to be more. Like, you're not, trust me. She's going to come. You heard some comments today afterwards. Like, they are going to have so many more. They're not fucking around this time. They learned from their mistakes. They only had 6 witnesses last time. They're going to have a shitload of witnesses this time. A shitload. So, I mean, all these idiots cheering on Hank. It's like, because they're losers. Losers don't know how to win. I'm a winner. I know how to win. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, they're playing loser ball. You guys can play. Okay. And they're all cheering on because they are losers. They don't know they don't know the first thing about winning. And none of these people, they've lost at everything their entire lives. Look at them. Losers. Karen Reed is a winner. Turtleboy's a winner. Alan Jackson's a winner. 𝗵𝗲𝗆𝗃𝗃, Fighting Bob is a winner. Okay. And Dr. Russell won today. Like, let's be very clear about that. From what I've seen, I haven't seen the entire thing, but she won. So thank you for that one. Next up, Paul O'Keefe's crotch shot sends $5 and goes, Hank's a rat. Where's John's hat? Where are his socks? The defense has no burden. Good question. Okay. Thank you, Paul O'Keefe's crotch shot. Let me just refresh this. Auntie Bev's attitude sends $25 and goes, I had to take a lot of breaks to crab walk to my White Claws. Hanky is a nasty tool. Yes, Auntie Bev's attitude. Yes, he is. Thank you very much. Billy Jack sends $10 and goes, can Google's database be subpoenaed for the 227 Hoslang to Dying Cold? Wouldn't have record. It received the search request from McCabe's IP address. I have no idea, Billy Jack. It's a good question. You should look into that. Thank you very much. Jen Pull Up Bitch sends $5 and says, for the O'Keefe family, one thing is disliking Karen Reed, that you want to see her in jail, but wouldn't you want real justice for John O'Keefe? Well, to them, real justice is Karen Reed in prison because they just don't like her. There's nothing they could do. I mean, you saw Paul today, like a child. He's got this little smile when he thinks things are going well, and they know shit's coming. Like, he thinks he's so fucking cool. Like, Paul gets hard at the thought of Karen Reed in prison. Like, he fucking hates her. So, yeah. All right, cool. Thank you for that. What did I just read? Emma D sends $10 and goes, Turtle Boy, this is in fact a major turning point in your life as a man. You've grown so much and others can see it. Very happy for your win in court, and fuck the fake victim and Courtney Proctor. Yeah, especially Court. I mean, I'm good with hating people like Courtney Proctor because they're relevant. Courtney Proctor is relevant to this story, just like Michael Proctor and Brian Tully and all these other douchebags and all the McAlberts. I have no problem hating every single one of these people, holding on to that hate, spending time hating them. It feels good to hate them, right? My heart is full of hate for them. But I don't want to spend my time with hate for the fake victim because she's nobody. Nobody. She doesn't even deserve my hate, you know, because she's not relevant to the story at all. I don't want to spend any time hating her. So thank you very much for that one. Emma D. Judy sends $10 and goes, what will happen to 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃? Well, he'll either get reelected next year or he will not run for office. One of those two, I'm thinking. And, you know, there's two other candidates running who have announced that they're going to run for DA, but like, where the fuck are they? Where are they? How are they missing out on these opportunities to grandstand on this? It's like, are you guys really going to run? Because you realize you're going to need a lot of money and having your name out there. And I'm not seeing you at all. That you have no presence whatsoever. Like, do you have campaign teams? Have you raised money yet? Like, it's 2025 now. Like, the Democratic primary will be in September of 2026. Like, you got like 21 months left, something like that. Let's go. We should start seeing some shit, right? Like, by the summer, their campaign should be up and running. They should be outside the courthouse, like Richie says here, right? Like, yeah, Perkins was on Young Jerk. Good. That's nice. Nice start. Nice start. I haven't seen her since. I'd like to see him out there. Like, come on. How are they? They should be issuing press releases through the Young Jerks every time something outrageous happens. Like, they should be out in front of this. That's how you get your name out there. I mean, you need to establish a name for yourself. Michael Morrissey is a name. He's a brand. He has been in office since the beginning of time. His entire life, he's been nothing but a political hack. And political hacks in Massachusetts are very hard to take down, right? They're very difficult to take down. So, you know, they like to stay in office until they literally croak, a la Ted Kennedy. Like you literally, you can't get rid of these people. John Kerry, they never go away. So they should be out there like every time. Like they should be almost competing about like, I am going to do this when I'm out. This is not going to happen. Like, and I think some of them are afraid to be associated with me. It's like, I would argue that's bad politics on their part. I do kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like, it's not just me. What about the Canton Nine? What about Rich Schiffer? What about, you know, all these other people who are being hunted down by these thugs in the Norfolk. I mean, that would be my platform. If I was running for district attorney, I would say we are getting rid of the entire Norfolk County District Attorney's Office State Police Detectives Unit. They're all going to be reassigned. We are starting fresh. We are chopping down the tree and the roots, and we are just starting fresh. We're getting brand new people in here. Number one rule, you cannot have grown up in Norwood, Dedham, Quincy, Canton, Stoughton, Walpole, Westwood. None of those. You cannot have grown up around here. That's rule number one. We want somebody that didn't live here their whole life. And, you know, how about some women? Could we get any women? Like, why is, you know, could we get a couple brothers? Something like that. A couple Mexicans, something. Like, it's like literally can we get somebody who is not a basic 40-year-old white guy who has just lived in Norwood his entire life? Can we get somebody who's not that guy? Because that is what the entire fucking Norfolk County District Attorney Office State Police Unit is. And I'm not hearing shit from either of these two people who have announced that they're running for District Attorney's Office. Are they really running? Because when you run, I don't know what they think running means. Like, I'm happy he went on the Young Jerks, but she went on the Young Jerks. But it's going to take a little more than that if you want to win this election. And we got to get going here. You know, you got to get going. You need to do some fundraisers. You got to do some shit. It's going to cost money to beat Michael Morrissey. So I don't, you know, whatever. So, all right, cool. All right, next up, yeah, and some guys with hair. Can we get some guys with hair? That'd be great. Brittany sends $10, goes, what do you think about Josh Levy resigning on January 17th? I think it's a good thing. Josh Levy, you just gotta, you know, you gotta get over the hump. He was good. He's like Sean McDermott from the Bills, right? If the Bills used to suck, right? And Sean McDermott comes along with Josh Allen and changes the culture in Buffalo, and they start winning AFC Easts all the time in the playoffs. They're always like a Super Bowl contender, whatever. They've made one AFC championship. They have not made the Super Bowl. They haven't even come close. Eventually, so it's like Sean McDermott's good because obviously a good coach, not good enough. He's not getting him over the hump. And that's what Josh Levy's doing. Josh Levy is like, yeah, he's good job. Okay, you did a little, yeah, there was a grand jury, and you know, you thought you had something there, blew in, doing, you know, get it done. You didn't bring it home. No one was indicted yet. No one was indicted. Okay. I mean, you got a shitload of evidence to work with here. Indict somebody on a freaking perjury charge. Somebody, you know, they did it, Josh. You know, you're not stupid. You know that they did it. Let's go. What are you waiting for? So I think it's a fresh set of eyes. Is fine. And he resigned, of course, because Trump won. And, you know, this is standard United States attorneys. They know that Trump eventually is going to bring in his own guy. So he's going to resign. And I'm fine with that. I hope Trump brings in a U.S. attorney like Andrew Lelling, who, like, he was the guy that was before Rachel Rollins, that is just a politically motivated attorney who wants to take down corrupt Democratic politicians. Because, I mean, that's the thing. Levy and 𝗵𝗵 are in the same political party. They're both Democrats. And we don't really talk about the political aspect of this much at all. I don't think he's covering for him because he's a Democrat or anything like that. But I do think that a Republican is going to have more reason to go after 𝗵𝗵. I do. And I'm fine with that. Whatever reasoning they need, whatever motivates them, whatever floats their boat to get this job done, get it done. I'm for it. So I'm for it. I think it's going to be a good thing. And I think Josh Levy he's like Sean McDermott. You know, if the Bills don't win the Super Bowl this year or get to the Super Bowl this year, they're going to have a serious conversation about firing the coach and like getting a new guy in there to get it done, to take him to the next level. You know, they're going to get like somebody in here who's won the big one before, you know, get him in here, bring somebody out of retirement, you know, get him in here, somebody new, fresh blood to get you over the top. I mean, it's happened before. Who did it happen with? It happened with Denver, the Broncos, with John Fox couldn't win the big one in Denver. And then they brought in 𝗬𝗄𝗃 Kubiak and he won the big one. They were so close and they just couldn't do it. And then you just bring in a guy to get the big one, you know? Sirianni's another one. Flip ahead, though. It's like, you know, he's been on the hot seat before. He was on the hot seat last year, the way they ended. And it's like, what are you going to do if the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl this year? You know, I mean, Super Bowl or bust for the Eagles. I mean, Doug Peterson, bro. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson just got fired by the Jaguars. He won a Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni can't. Sirianni's team is more talented than Doug Peterson's teams ever were. So we'll see. All right. Next up. Douglas Schmitz sends $10 and goes, go Penn State. How about go fuck yourself there, Douglas Schmitz? No, okay. I have nothing against the Lions. If Notre Dame loses to Penn State, I'll be rooting for Penn State to win the whole thing. It'd be cool. It'd be good. It would be really good for college football if Notre Dame or Penn State won one of those teams. It would fuck Ohio State. I think we can all agree on that. So sorry, Buckeye fans. You can go fuck yourself too. All right. Allison sends $10 and goes, congrats on the win today. We finally got to see actual justice in Norfolk County. Hopefully there's more on the way. And thank you, Allison. And it was great seeing you there. Looking dapper as always. Thank you. Marilyn sends $25 and goes, congrats today. How do you think Michael Proctor's hearing will go? I would say it's going to go very awkward. The whole thing is going to be, I wouldn't even show up if I was him. I would not even show up, like straight up. That's what I would not do. So thank you for that one. Kendall sends $10 and says, congratulations on a major victory in court. And I already read that one. Okay. Let me see if we have any cash apps here to bang through. Peggy sends $20 and goes, please say fuck a couple more times. Fuck. Thanks, Peggy. All right. Thank you. I know I shouldn't say the F word so much, but I appreciate that. Boston to LAX sends $15 and says, Melanie Little said today it's going to be a long trial. Yeah, with Hanky, everything's going to be longer, I think. But bring it on. I think our subs are going to increase by a lot during that. So thank you very much, Boston LAX. Tracy sends $5 and says, winners don't lose. Losers don't win. Bev is a cunt. Amen. Chad sends $5, goes, keep up the good work. Move on and up. Thank you. I'll do that, Chad. Jennifer sends $5 and goes, fuck Bev, fuck LG, and fuck Spanky. Ooh, yes, thank you, Jennifer. Melanie sends $6 and goes, Emily Baker timestamp 5:54:21 DM'd on X. Play, please. Okay, I'll try to do that. Thank you, Emily. All right, cool. Let me just refresh the turtle chat here. I don't want to miss anyone before we play our. Okay, cool. All right. Let's play some Dr. Marie, shall we? Let's go over to the
All right. So I did not have time to watch much of this at all. I watched some on the way home. I've seen some of the clips, the highlights, blah, blah, blah. I don't have time to watch the whole thing. So what I made a Facebook and a Twitter post asking people to timestamp for me using the Law and Crime YouTube stream. And I knew people would fuck this up because people don't like following directions. But because people are sending me like the timestamp on, and by the way, shout out to the 100 Rumble Rats over there. I see you fine people. People would send me like, oh, you got to check out this timestamp on the Melanie Little stream or whatever. I'm like, even the Court TV, every stream is different. Like, so like the timestamps on one, and I'm not going to go back and forth. I ask everybody, I specifically even posted Law and Crime. And I said, give me the timestamp on this. And so I asked people to timestamp some relevant stuff. So we're going to go through the comments now and I'll find some good ones. And you got to tell me what they are. Okay. All right. Honestly, just listen to the closing arguments. Yeah, actually, should we start with that? And I see people asking, like I see in the comments, when Dr. Russell asked Hank, "Are you a doctor?" And it got 1 million comments, and everyone's liking it, and that's great. But that's not a timestamp. I just need timestamps, and so I'm looking at the comments now, and it appears as if nobody followed the directions. Like nobody. Like I'm like, all these people commented. And we're like, oh, the part where they got Chloe. That's what a timestamp is. You tell me the part because I don't have time. Somebody puts in the comments, says, put timestamps or it doesn't matter. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Actually, somebody DM'd me some good timestamps too. So this did not work out well. I thought, let's see. All right, let's start 43:22, somebody says.
The accident, there would have been broken bones or other injuries?
That was one of the reasons.
Okay. So based on those two reasons and other reasons, you decided to exclude car accident as the cause of these wounds, correct?
Correct.
And when you made that decision to do that and exclude car accidents, you didn't really have the experience in car accidents to decide whether a car accident was the cause of these injuries, did you?
Mr. Brennan, I've seen thousands of car accident victims through my emergency medicine career. So I had plenty of experience.
Have you ever been trained as an accident reconstructionist?
No, I'm trained as a physician to treat car accident victims.
But that's not what I asked.
Mm-hmm.
What I asked you is, you have been trained as an accident reconstructionist.
No.
Have you ever taken classes and certifications in accident reconstruction?
No.
Have you ever gone to a scene of an accident and been asked to give your opinion on how to reconstruct the accident?
No.
Have you ever served as a witness in court as an accident reconstructionist?
No.
In fact, when you decided that this accident couldn't happen, you hadn't even read the investigative reports. Had you?
No, I didn't decide that an accident didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
What I decided was that those injuries were not from a motor vehicle accident.
When you first gave your opinion in this case, she was done.
Hold on, Mr. Leslie. Next question.
When you first gave your opinion in this case, excluding car accident, you had not even read the investigative reports in this case, had you?
That's correct.
And when you were asked about materials that you reviewed to give your opinions, you said you were just trying to focus on the wounds and you hadn't read those reports, right?
That's correct.
Have you read the reports?
Yes.
Today? You now have read the reports?
Yes.
Okay. When you excluded the car accident, did you know anything about this collision between the Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe? Did you know anything about it?
Objection, Your Honor. Can you answer that question, Dr. Russell? Did I know anything about?
Did you know anything about how it happened?
Did you know anything about how the collision happened? It didn't happen. That's a trick question. I mean, it's like these questions are like assuming that a car accident actually happened. Like it didn't happen. That's the whole point. Also, I thought she was here to do dog bites. What's he even talking about?
I was somehow I knew that. Well, I believe I knew that the car was backing up. That's what I was. Somehow I got that information.
So when you were excluding the collision in this differential diagnosis, did you know how fast that Lexus was going back when it struck Mr. O'Keefe?
No.
you know how far it traveled when it hit Mr. O'Keefe?
Objection, Your Honor. So it's a question. The question's proper. Let's see if she can answer it.
The question's proper. She allows everything. Do you know how fast it was going? He wasn't hit by a car. Do you know for a fact how fast it was going? What are you talking about? I'll tell you one thing. It wasn't going 24 miles an hour in 62 feet because that's physically impossible. Source, Turtleboy.
May not be able to answer this.
So you know how far the Lexus traveled backwards when it hit Mr. O'Keefe?
Your Honor, I'm objecting to the
I understand, counsel. Can you answer that question as asked? As asked, no, I don't know.
When you excluded this collision as differential diagnosis, did you know the angle of the collision between the car and Mr. O'Keefe?
I'm going to see counsel.
So there's a lot of sidebars like this that people are saying. All right, what else do we got for timestamps here? All right, 5042. Somebody says makes no sense. Let me play that part.
Differential diagnosis. May I?
Yes.
When you engaged in differential diagnosis, excluding a car collision as the cause of these abrasions, did you know or learn any information about the angle of the strike between the Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe?
No.
Who was
do you
it?
know whether or not the person, John O'Keefe, who had these abrasions on his arm, do you know if that person used his arm in any way to defend himself from an oncoming vehicle?
I considered that.
You did?
Yes.
And in considering that, did you consider the body position of John O'Keefe?
Oh, yes. I considered various possibilities.
Okay, what was his body
Why is
position
Bev
at the
moving her
time
chair like that?
car
That's so
allegedly
distracting.
collided with him?
What is she doing?
What was his body position?
I considered several possibilities. I considered he was standing. I considered if he was kneeling or sitting or even lying down. I considered multiple
Was he
possibilities.
standing?
I don't know, but I considered all of those possibilities.
Was he kneeling?
I don't know.
Was he lying down?
I don't know.
So you considered all these things, but you have no information, fact, or understanding of what body position he was, do you?
I went through the process.
You don't know what position he was. Like all you have is a theory. What are you talking about? Like this guy knows what happened. Like what? Yeah, I know what happened. He was never hit by a car. He got out of the car and ran in the house. That's where they beat him up in there, and then they put him out on the lawn to die. Duh. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's the most probable and plausible thing that could have happened to him. Duh. Just look at him. Just look at his fucking injuries. If you think that those injuries came, that's what she should just told him. Like, look at dude. You saw the autopsy pictures, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I do happen to be qualified. I'm extremely qualified. I have this degree and this degree, and I've done this many autopsies, and that's all well and all. But most importantly, if you look at those pictures and you think John O'Keefe was hit by a car, you're retarded. That's it. Like you're just retarded. Spanky. I don't even need all these degrees to know all this shit. Anyone looking at those pictures knows that motherfucker wasn't hit by a car. Like you literally have to be, I'm not retarded, which makes me qualified to know that guy wasn't hit by a car. Period. But that's what she should have said up there. That would have been awesome. That's what we were all thinking.
Of what the wounds would look like in those various positions.
I see. So if John O'Keefe was trying to defend himself, pulling his arm up, to brace himself, what would the injuries have looked like?
Well, if they penetrated his clothing, if there was penetration of his clothing from broken parts, for instance, they would have been quite irregular. They would not have been multiple parallel abrasions and punctate wounds that were seen in those pictures.
How do you know that?
From my many years of experience.
Did you do any comparison analysis of the broken tail light in Mr. O'Keefe's arm?
Actually, eventually, I did.
Before you gave these opinions, did you?
I didn't need to because I've seen thousands of accident victims.
Every accident is dynamic and changes, isn't it?
Yes, but I also had that in consideration. That's why people train for the number of years that I trained.
Every accident is different, isn't it?
Yes, probably.
And so you can have a number of people in an accident, and they can have different injuries from the same accident, can't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Car drives down the street and runs into 20 people. They may all have different injuries.
I agree.
Same car.
I agree.
Might be the same speed, but they could hit people differently. Some people, unfortunately, they could kill. Right?
Yes.
Some people could be catastrophically injured but still alive.
Correct.
Some people could have scratches and bruises.
Correct.
Some people could be in that type of situation, bounce off the car and escape without a scratch.
Possibly, yes.
Right. So there's no science or standard when you say car accidents would have had a certain result. The truth is you don't know.
I disagree with you.
Okay. And so when you were excluding these classes, you have no idea his body position or angle, correct?
I went through various scenarios in my head.
Oh, this is the part.
Scenarios in your head, Dr. Russell. I'm asking you about detail, fact, science, okay? I'm asking you, do you have any idea the position of John O'Keefe's body when he allegedly was struck by the car?
Objection, Your Honor.
I considered multiple scenarios.
Tell me the facts you have. Tell me the facts you have. So you can tell us how is his body postured on fact. What facts do you have?
Again, I considered multiple scenarios.
When you did you go to the scene of where Mr. O'Keefe was found
I love
lying on the
this.
ground? Did you go and visit the scene?
I don't have to go to the
And look
scene.
at photographs of the scene.
I looked at some photographs.
What did you see in those photographs?
First of all, I've been to the scene. So going to the scene makes you an expert now. I've been to the scene. I actually reenacted it at the scene. If that's what you need for an expert, Spanky, holla at your boy. I'm ready to testify. Let's go. Put me on the stand. Oh, Spanky doesn't want me on the stand. You should have. I mean, today I don't mean to brag. I'm like top 95 percentile witness, like one of the best in the country. All right. And he does not want me on that stand because I will destroy him. I'd be like, bro, did you see my reenactment? Like, I've been there. You know, curves, right? You know, the curves. So, like, no, you know, it makes no sense, right? Spanky. And also, where was the white Jeep? And how did, you know, he doesn't want that. He would never.
Photographs.
They were very difficult. It was very difficult to see much useful information in the photographs.
When you're engaging in differential diagnosis and you're excluding causes of abrasions in Mr. O'Keefe's arm, wouldn't it be important to either go to the scene or look at clear photographs so you could see all the debris and the land and the turf and see what it looked like?
Debris?
No, in the 30 years of emergency medicine experience I've had, I've never gone to the scene of a car accident victim that was brought into the emergency room.
And you've never gone into court and testified as an accident reconstruction expert.
A reconstruction expert? No, but I've testified about vehicle accidents.
You've never gone to court and testified as a dog bite expert before this case, yes?
I was never asked.
And so when you say what you used to do, you treated people who came in with injuries. I'm talking about when you're going to exclude something as a cause. I'm asking if you have any experience in actually going out and looking at the facts and using science to exclude something fairly.
I used medical science.
Do you know what the ground looked like where Mr. O'Keefe lay that morning?
There was snow.
That's such a good point. Proctor didn't go to the scene. That's what they told. Proctor wasn't at the scene that day. He had already determined Karen Reed did it. He never saw the scene. And he's like, Karen Reed did it. Like, this is the standard, Spanky. Do you realize what you're doing?
You know how many inches of snow were under his body?
Under his body?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what the ground was? Do you know if it was smooth like a turf football field or frozen jagged like
jagged
tends to do in the Northeast during the cold winter?
I considered several different possibilities: grass, dirt, asphalt. So I considered several different possibilities to see in my differential diagnosis.
You considered all these different possibilities, but you never even went and looked at the scenes to see what it looked like, did you?
Didn't have to.
Do you know if there was twigs or roots or brush nearby?
I don't know.
Do you know if there's a fire hydrant nearby?
There was a fire hydrant nearby.
Do you know if there's a curb nearby?
That I don't know.
So you have no idea really, other than a fire hydrant, what this area of impact, alleged impact looked like, do you?
Well, again, a curb would not have caused those wounds, so that's irrelevant.
Not according to Trooper Paul.
I disagree.
Okay.
You have no
Someone tell
idea.
you what it looked like?
No.
What a cunt. She's holding her own, though. It's like he thinks he's scoring points, and he's just not. He's just like such a douchebag. Unimpressive.
You said that you ruled out car accident or collision in part because there were no broken bones. Yes?
In part.
And we've agreed.
Except for no skeletal broken bones.
And we've agreed that car accidents are a dynamic process. Not all car accidents result in broken bones, do they?
That's correct.
It depends on how and where and a number of other factors in the collision. Yes?
That's why it was only one of the factors I used.
It's one of the factors you excluded. Do you know the difference in force between a head-on collision and a side swipe?
I have a general idea.
Is there less force when someone is hit on the side of the car as opposed to being run over?
It's supposed to be run over?
Yeah.
Yes.
Generally, yes.
And I'm sure in your thousands of treatments, you have treated people in the hospital who have come in contact with a car who did not have broken bones.
Oh, yes.
Plenty of times.
Excuse me?
Many times.
Yes, but they weren't dead.
What's that?
They were not dead.
Okay. Well, you don't know when Mr. O'Keefe died that morning, do you? You know what time he died?
I have I have a range.
You didn't think he died from the abrasions on his arm, do you?
No, he did not die from the abrasions.
Okay. He died from a break in the back of the skull from hitting the ground, right?
Oh, he died from a skull fracture and brain injury and hypothermia.
Hypothermia.
Yeah, not from an abrasion to his skull.
We'll see about that.
The abrasion for his arm had nothing to do with his death, did it?
It did not cause the death.
Okay. And so is there a difference between the force when a car hits somebody directly on or hits them on the side?
Generally, yes.
Right. And you've seen many times somebody has been in contact with the motor vehicle with no broken bones, many times.
I have seen that, yes.
I mean, there's a difference between being run over and hitting the side of a car, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's correct.
So if someone didn't hit them, they just clipped them. That might be different than being run over in the middle of the
Yes.
walk in the middle
Yes,
of the car.
that'd be different, Hanky.
Yes, that'd be correct, but you have to put it in
Yes.
context.
Now, you said in addition to your experience treating injuries, you also have experience as a police officer.
Yes.
Yes. And you responded to many
Okay.
car collisions as a police officer.
All
didn't
right. So I want to go to the people said the 𝗫𝗄𝗃 parts at 307. I want to play that.
I'm sorry.
You have no peer review. You have no peer endorsement. Everything
Oh,
that
he
you-
loved this peer review
You
thing.
have no peer endorsement for any of your opinions.
No
do you?
peer review.
I didn't think I was allowed to show these pictures to anyone.
when you're giving opinions about the teeth and suggesting that there's might be bad things you don't really know about, you would agree it would be best to look at the dog, Chloe itself, right?
Not necessary.
If you looked at Chloe and examined Chloe, you would know whether or not there are any irregularities in Chloe's teeth, wouldn't you?
Yes, I might.
One of the Sullivan sluts was there. I mean, look at this crew of ragtags that they brought with them there. The stupid cousin there, right? You got Sullivan slut, older Sullivan slut here. And then you got the Lost at Sea, John O'Keefe, Lost at Sea, Tara Kerrigan, who just probably is just so dried up down there. It's not even funny. And just Johnny's thinking about him.
Well, Mike, you would see it, wouldn't you?
Well, if I got close enough, and I don't know if I want to get close enough to Chloe.
Well, why wouldn't you want to? You're a medical doctor. You want to have an opinion to a degree of medical certainty. Why wouldn't you want to see the best evidence of the distance between the teeth and Chloe? Why wouldn't you?
I'd have to make sure that I wasn't putting myself in danger.
Okay. And if you saw Chloe, you could see if there was any missing teeth, couldn't you?
Yes.
You could actually measure the canines in Chloe, and then you could compare them to what you're calling dog wounds on Mr. O'Keefe's arm. You could do that, couldn't you?
I would have to get a veterinarian to sedate the patient, the dog, because going near that dog would be very dangerous. They'd have to sedate the dog to measure the intercanine distance.
What if you did get a veterinarian to sedate the dog, and then you could safely go and look at Chloe, and you could actually take a mold of Chloe's mouth, right? Yes? You've read that in the literature. The best way to, I'm sorry. You've read in the literature the best way to compare the teeth and the mark is you actually do a mold of the dog's mouth. You know how valuable that can be in analysis, don't you?
It can be, but the question.
But what is Lally doing? He just sits here the whole day and stares ahead. He doesn't even turn. Like they don't. I want to interview these two. I saw them on the way into today. I'm just like, but it was too cold to interview them. I'm like, do you like your job? This is so emasculating. What did you come to work to do today? You literally just sat there and stared at manila folders that you didn't even get to open. You just sat there. That's all you did. Nobody knows what you're doing here. At least everyone on the defense team has a role. We know what they're doing. Like what do you do? But anyway, I digress. So they're talking about getting this dog.
I believe the question here is not which dog created these wounds, but did a dog create these wounds?
That's not my question. My question is, if you took a mold of Chloe's mouth, you would see the distance between the canines, and you could measure it, quantify it, not guess and speculate, quantify it, correct?
What is
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there's Jill Thomas. Oh my God, there she is. She's such a pig. Oh, Jill Thomas and the Sullivan slut. She's such a pig. Remember when I confronted her outside D&E Pizza? Look at her. Oh, just some of the nastiest butch ass women in Canton, folks. I don't know what's in the water down there. Some of these women. Oh, the women of Canton. No offense. No offense. But yikes. What is Laura Sullivan's like so happy about at this murder trial? Look at her laughing it up. Oh, yeah. I'm the Sullivan slut. I mean, she looks better than Marietta. Like, look at it. What does she do? What is this whole thing? What's going on here? They're all yucking it up. What's this all about? Laughing, telling jokes. Oh, special secrets for special friends. Oh, yeah, we're having a great time. Oh, yeah. I want, Johnny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We want justice. Look at us. We're so sad. We really miss Johnny. This isn't total. I mean, this is just the cunts of Canton who just can't hate Karen Reed and are just enjoying her misery. Like, fuck all these bitches. Fuck them all. Look at this sidebar. Jesus Christ. Oh my.
Would you agree it would be helpful if you had a safe opportunity to actually examine the dog Chloe?
It could be.
If you had a safe opportunity to examine Chloe, you could look at the size of Chloe's jaw.
It could be, but those wounds on you're shaking your
That's not my question.
Okay.
My question is, if you had an opportunity to go safely,
You see what he's getting at here.
Chloe, you would be able to tell the size of Chloe's jaw. You could measure it.
Possibly, yes.
You could determine the gape of Chloe's jaw, couldn't you?
I don't know what gape of.
How it bites, how wide it opens up.
I'm not sure I could determine that.
Okay, you could look at Chloe's teeth.
As they are now, yes.
You could measure the distance between the canines if they still exist in Chloe's mouth.
Yes, from a model of, or an imprint from Chloe's mouth.
You could take a mold.
Right, a mold.
Or you could take a tape measure or a ruler, and you could measure. You could
Well, that would be very reliable.
You could determine whether or not she had 1 incisor, or whether she had 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 incisors.
What?
Currently, yes, but I can't tell what the condition of the teeth were during the incident.
Yes,
You could tell if there's
exactly.
any missing teeth.
Correct.
You could look at Chloe's paws, couldn't you?
Yes.
You could do moldings of those and measure those as well, couldn't you?
I'm not sure that would be useful.
Well, if you think that some of these wounds could have been scratches, you could look at the nails and the shape of the nails, couldn't you?
Well, nails are frequently cut on a regular basis, and the distance between the nails, as you mentioned earlier, can change depending on whether or not the par is in a compressed state or a more relaxed state. So that wouldn't be reliable.
So you would not even consider measuring the paws because you think that would be unreliable?
I don't think it would be reliable. No.
You wouldn't study the toenails to see the shape of them?
If I could, I'd look to see if there's an abnormal toenail,
right?
For instance, yes.
And so there would be a benefit to doing that. You didn't do that though, did you? You didn't go see Chloe and take a mold of Chloe's mouth, did you?
It wasn't necessary.
No. Did you go up and take pictures and measure the teeth of Chloe?
No.
Did you ask to?
So here's the thing about this, and I'll tell you one thing I know about this. A lot of people don't know. So I knew they did this. First of all, the trolls have been posting about it, how they have denture marks from Chloe for quite some time, because literally the Hank Brennan and company, like they complained that they saw what we did early on and how they saw what Karen Reed did early on, how Karen Reed was leaking information and, giving me information and I was broadcasting it. And they're like, they were so outraged by it that they decided to do it themselves. Like they're doing the same shit that we used to do. And that is leaking information to people on Twitter to put it out there. Except the difference is that I'm much more effective than their people, much more liked, much more believable, and I have a much bigger audience. Okay. So it just doesn't land the same way. Like their chosen spokesperson is something called 𝗺𝗏𝗏 panties. Like, come on, that's the best they can come up with. 𝗺𝗏𝗏 panties. But so I knew that they had gone to Vermont and they claimed to have found Chloe. Okay. And they claimed to have done a denture bite thing and gotten a mold of it or whatever. But here's the deal. Here's what they're not telling you. And they're asking Dr. Marie Russell, would you have liked to look at it? They wouldn't let anyone from the defense look at it. The defense has not, the defense was not allowed to see Chloe. They claim, the Commonwealth claims that Chloe lives, they will not say the town Chloe is in Vermont, just Vermont. And they claim that this is that is rehomed twice now. So the place they rehomed it to, they claim Chloe's been rehomed again. So if Chloe is alive, and this is true, that Chloe's been rehomed again, what would that mean? I don't mean Chloe bit someone again, right? Oh, okay. Which kind of proves the point. If Chloe's alive, I don't think Chloe's alive, but although, I mean, there's no harm in keeping the dog, because what are they going to, they didn't take any tissue samples from John's arm. And I don't know if like Chloe has specific DNA. It just says dog DNA, right? It's not like specific to that's Chloe's DNA, the Chloe the dog. I don't know if it works like that. That's not Fido's DNA or, Rover's DNA. That's Chloe's DNA. Everybody knows that. But anyway, so the defense is not even allowed to look and go and verify that this is in fact Chloe. So literally the entire base, this was like their big bombshell today. It was like, ooh, Chloe is alive. And they visited and they got the dental impressions and the defense didn't see it. Well, you won't let them. You're not even telling them what town they're in. You don't know the owner. And it's just like, trust me, bro. Now, that doesn't mean Hank Brennan is lying. Hank Brennan's is here to win the case. That's the only thing he wants to do. And so Hank Brennan, there's a plausible scenario where like Hank Brennan went and met a German Shepherd and took some teeth impressions, or a specialist did it. Went and got some teeth impressions from a German Shepherd. And like, yeah, this is Chloe, right? Like he knows what the fuck Chloe looks like. Like he knows the difference between one German Shepherd and another. Aren't these dogs chipped? Can't you prove that that's Chloe? How can you prove that? I don't believe this for a second. I don't believe for a second that these people got 𝗀𝗄𝗄's dental, whatever. Like, and literally their source is trust me, bro. Like, that's it. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. It's 𝗀𝗄𝗄. You can believe us. We would never lie to you or anything like that. Give me a break. And what would any of this even prove? It's been 3 years since 𝗀𝗄𝗄 bit John O'Keefe. 3 years. A lot happens to teeth in 3 years. Just ask Jen McCabe. Ask half the people on their side. Teeth is not their specialty. So, like, what your teeth look like in 2022 can be very different, very different from 2025. Especially if you're a dog and you go around biting people all the time, right? So, like, there's 1,000,001 reasons. And what's he hoping to find? Like, I think what he's trying to do here is prove that, like, oh, you see how far apart these bite marks are on the sleeve? That doesn't align with his teeth on there. It's like, this is your smoking gun, 𝗪𝗍𝗄? Like, really? You're going to bring a mold in? A mold. This is how you're earning your 75 grand. Okay. So scared. This is all you got, dude? Oh my God. Look who's on Karen Reed's team now. Look who she's got. She's got Fighting Bob added to this group. And then behind her in court, those are all a bunch of wicked smart law school students from Harvard and Boston College. Okay? Some of the brightest minds in the country. Future superstar attorneys getting their start on this case, working for free. That's who Karen Reed's got on her back, right? And you're up in fucking Vermont getting teeth impressions off of some dog that they claim is 𝗀𝗄𝗄. Bro, what? Like, this is embarrassing. I would be so embarrassed to be on their side. Like, this is humiliating. Absolutely humiliating for them. And the fact that they think that this is going well is just wild to me. Like, you guys are fucking retarded. Like, you have no clue. And that's the beauty of it all. You're so retarded, you don't know how retarded you are. Like, you in this, oh, don't get him, Hanky. Get him, Hanky. Bro, your hero is Revenge of the Nerds on steroids. Look at this fucking nerdlinger. Look at him. I just want to give him a wedgie every time I see him. A $75,000 wedgie. That's what he needs. Look at this fucking loser. Look at him. This Clark Kent wannabe loser. Loser. That's what this guy is. He's a loser. I saw him eat lunch today over in the bagel shop. Oh, yes. But I walk in there. Somebody bought me lunch in there. Nice guy named Brant. Bought lunch today. That didn't happen to 𝗪𝗍𝗄, did it? He had to pay for his own lunch because nobody likes him. And he had to sit in the corner with Joe Krowski Sr., a.k.a. Izzy Mandelbaum, and eat his cheese sandwich in the corner. And I almost went over there and started asking him questions, but I ain't trying to catch a charge. Okay? But anyway, back to this.
No, it was my understanding that 𝗀𝗄𝗄 was in another state. But again, I didn't think it was necessary, and I have reasons why I didn't think it was necessary.
You thought that 𝗀𝗄𝗄 was in another state. Did you ever discuss going to see 𝗀𝗄𝗄 and doing these studies on 𝗀𝗄𝗄 so you could see if they were dissimilar to these abrasions?
I was asked to evaluate the wounds.
Do you know that 𝗀𝗄𝗄 exists, that we provided notice to you, that we went up and saw 𝗀𝗄𝗄?
Oh, bombshell.
Did you know that was going allowed? Did you know that, Doctor?
I do know that now, yes.
Did you know that before you testified the last day in this case, that we actually went out and found 𝗀𝗄𝗄 and took molds and measured the paws and the teeth? Did you know that we did that?
I don't know.
Oh, did you know we did that?
So you
Ooh,
testified
we're so
last year and you
impressed.
don't recall whether you knew that
So
𝗀𝗄𝗄 was
impressed.
available?
I believe I knew that there was a consultant, that you hired a consultant, and I didn't know what that consultant was going to be doing.
Okay. Now that you know that 𝗀𝗄𝗄 is available, wouldn't those molds be helpful? Wouldn't you want to look at them and compare them to the distances on the abrasions on Mr. O'Keefe's arm?
I don't think it's necessary for many reasons.
If the distance of 𝗀𝗄𝗄's canines is significantly different than these abrasions in this picture, you would agree that the abrasions in Mr. O'Keefe's arm could not have been caused by 𝗀𝗄𝗄.
No, because it's 3 years
I
ago.
don't agree to that statement. Again, because of various factors such as elasticity of the skin, shrinkage. There's various factors.
Shrinkage.
So, if I understand, you have no interest in examining or seeing 𝗀𝗄𝗄. It's irrelevant to your opinion?
I don't think I need to see Chloe.
Well, you said earlier when I asked you about particular wounds, it would be helpful to know these things about missing teeth and spacing and distance between the canines. Is that no longer helpful to your opinion?
No, I think you're mischaracterizing what I said. I believe I said that it would give information about the condition of the teeth now, but it wouldn't give information about the condition of the teeth when that
Exactly.
In the spirit of medicine and science, isn't more information good?
Generally.
But you generally would not want to go see and examine Chloe.
I don't think it's necessary, and there's so many reasons why.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
All right, Mr. 𝗚𝗧𝗂𝗃, go right ahead.
All right. All right.
Sure.
So let me go look for some timestamps here, and we're gonna play Fighting Bob's closing speech. But I just want to go on Twitter and just check out what people are saying about the. Look at this is Laura Sullivan. Like this is. What the fuck is this chick doing? She's just looking for attention, huh? Just loving it. That's my friend's murder trial. Yeah, I'm on TV. Yeah, hi mom. What a piece of shit. Wow. Classy broad right there. Classy broad. Okay. So everyone's saying listen to Fighting Bob's. Thank you, Bethany. Thank you. I need timestamps. So many people don't. You got to play this part. I need time. I was hoping to come through here and just see a bunch of times. See, this is 628, 626.18 is the best. Okay, let me try that one. Let's go to 626.18 and see what happens there. Okay, so all right, let's watch Fighting Bob's closing because people are raving about this.
All right, Mr. 𝗚𝗧𝗃.
The greatest danger to the issues in this case, the greatest danger to a defense right to a jury trial and present its witnesses is to have an entire motion supported by nothing but the assertions of an attorney on the other side. That is the greatest danger to our system. That is the greatest danger to a defendant being able to present their case in their view.
Yes.
Remarkably, all of the arguments you just heard now do not come from a medical doctor, which Your Honor has said causation of an injury to a person in Massachusetts must come from a medical doctor. Where is the affidavit? Where is the report of a prosecution witness to support one statement Mr. Brennan just made in 30 minutes? Where is it? It doesn't exist. I would like to start my argument and tell you exactly where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to why we're here and what the issues are for this motion. So I'm going to start my argument with what is the legal standard that Your Honor faces to answer. And I know Your Honor knows it. I'm just doing it for the logic in the presentation. I'm going to go through that. I'm going to identify specific case law of dog wound cases, not paint cases, not others, because it matters. Because Daubert and Lanigan are so flexible and so nuanced, it's got to be the issue before it. Paint cases that Mr. Brennan mentioned are irrelevant. So I'm going to go through cases that speak specifically to dog wounds on humans. Then what I'm going to do is to go through the completely inaccurate statements of Mr. Brennan. He said it, I marked it down 8 times in just his argument alone. There's no methodology. I'm going to go through and say what the methodology she testified to was, where it's rooted. And then I am going to go into why Dr. Russell is actually stronger in December than she was in June. Let me start out with the baseline for this hearing.
Okay.
The January 20th transcript, page 1-4. And if Your Honor will indulge me, it's what Your Honor said, and I'm going to read it verbatim. This was when Dr. Russell was challenged by the prosecution the first time. Line 15. I find that she is a medical doctor. She's an experienced ER doctor, albeit, several years ago since she's worked in that capacity, but that she does have specialized knowledge in that field that may assist the jury in that regard. So if you compare the level of information that Your Honor had at that time to reach the conclusion to what we have presented in this hearing, 11-page single-space report. And Your Honor noted before that there wasn't a report, so we wanted to respect that and get a report. Your Honor has sat through testimony, which I'm going to adduce, but not too much because you sat and heard it, and went through her qualifications, and we adduced much more of her qualifications, much more than were adduced when Your Honor first found that finding and made that finding. So let's start with the law. Mr. Brennan and I agree on one thing. The 𝗵𝗄𝗃 case is relevant. But respectfully, Mr. Brennan went off in a tangent, because what does 𝗵𝗄𝗃 stand for that's relevant here? Quote, the crucial issue, in determining whether a witness is qualified to give an expert opinion is whether the witness has sufficient education, training, experience, and familiarity with the subject matter of the testimony.
what is the subject matter of the testimony? It's what are the cause of the wounds to the decedent's right arm. I submit that if you ran an artificial intelligence program, you couldn't come up with a more perfect witness for the subject matter of this testimony. Emergency medicine physician, 29 years experience.
Get him.
Forensic trained
Get him.
pathologist.
Get him.
Who has co-authored books on dog bites. She's well-versed in the articles. She is consulted by experts like Dr. Vale that you heard about for these types of issues. The crucial issue of whether she's qualified to me is 100% her favorite, and I don't believe you could find another witness more qualified. And that's the crucial
Can't
inquiry.
do it.
What's the second prong of the inquiry? After qualifications, is the methodology reliable? That's the second. Whether Mr. Brennan agrees
People
and
hated
95% of what he argued, that's for cross at trial. But more importantly, that's for a jury to determine. That's the job
Look at the
of the
anger.
jury, to determine whether, assuming Mr. Brennan ever gets a doctor to come in, it's for a jury to decide which expert do we give more weight to. But the focus of this hearing, why are we here? The second prong is the methodology. Mr. Brennan, 8 times in just this argument now, and he tried it on cross, said there's absolutely no methodology. Your Honor sat and heard the same thing that all of us heard. She went through her own pattern recognition methodology, especially in redirect, but she did it very thoroughly in a report and very thoroughly on direct. She went through what it is. And importantly, counter to what the Commonwealth just said, she says it's rooted in the medical literature. We just heard the statement that there's no support for it. The Munich and Pollock. And we walked through, with your Honor's gracious indulgence, we walked through specific sentences and paragraphs where that pattern recognition methodology is stated. And here's a key. Remember, please, the word pathognomonic. This pattern is so specific that it almost by itself rules out anything else. That's the definition of pathognomonic. And that's the definition. And Dr. Russell used highly characteristic, which you didn't know and explain what another study said was pathognomonic. It's incredible to me that it can be stated that there's no methodology here and that there's no basis for it. It is generally accepted in the medical community. That's the purpose of the Pollock and the Munich article, is to establish that it is accepted. Dr. Russell is not coming here to the court and just testifying, it's my subjective empirical statement. Mr. Brennan tries to do in his argument exactly what an expert rejected and for which he has no support. And that is to say, we got to look at these wound by wound by wound. And he said 0, 0, 0, 5 times 0 is 0. He tried that on cross. Dr. Russell rejected that resoundingly. She said, you're missing the point. The point is the pattern. You look at these all together, and it's the pattern that matters. And the authors, Pollock and Munich, say that pattern is pathognomonic. You really don't even have to go to other causes, although Dr. Russell said she did because that's what good, thorough doctors do. So it is incorrect that Dr. Russell didn't explicate a methodology. It's incorrect that she didn't explicate that there's a rooting in the medical community and that it's generally accepted. Now let's go to the cases. Mr. Brennan cited to a paint case, etc., but interestingly, and in contrast, in our papers, which Mr. Brennan has had for almost a month, and he didn't respond, interestingly, we cited to the 𝗺𝗏𝗏 case, the Brinker case, both of which are dog wound injury cases, not paint cases. I know a little bit about 𝗺𝗏𝗏 because I know a little bit about the firm that sponsored the expert in 𝗺𝗏𝗏. It's my qualified as an expert on the presentation. This is on Westlaw page 10. The court finds Dr. 𝗍𝗏𝗏 qualified as an expert on the presentation, treatment, and medical sequelae of an attack by a dog. Here's the key. As explained in his expert report, Dr. 𝗍𝗏𝗏 has personally repaired thousands of wounds and lacerations, including wounds and lacerations caused by dog bites. And he's authored a number of peer-reviewed articles in the areas of his certification, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so there is a dog bite case from the Southern District of New York, not an insignificant court, as recent as 2023, saying a doctor that sees and treats all these, that's reliable. And this was a Daubert challenge, Your Honor. This wasn't an incidental question. The challenge was defendant's motion to preclude expert testimony, albeit federal rules of 702, but we know in Massachusetts it's Daubert-Lanigan. You can satisfy Daubert, the federal, but you also Lanigan, and under Davis, you can have generally accepted in the medical community as well. There's one case. Another dog bite case we cite, Brinker, that Mr. Brennan didn't address is a federal court case in Indiana where same challenge to a doctor about the cause, and it was italicized, the cause of the injury to the person there. And the court basically said in that case that this expert here, and they challenged the causation issue to Massachusetts cases.
So he's going over the case law, explaining all this.
Is that you can't just have somebody use their years and years of experience. You've got to have something more complicated. We cited the Goodman case, a Massachusetts case, and I'll read the relevant portion. The challenge in that case was to a burn pattern. So it's not a dog bite case. I want to be clear about that, but it's a burn pattern. And here's what the court said. The foundation for 𝗺𝗏𝗏𝗏's methodology, that was the expert here, was simplicity itself. Examine the exterior of the facility for external causes, and finding none, examine the interior of the building to locate the origin of the fire, seeing these patterns. Next case we cite, another Massachusetts.
There's a case law.
Common sense, as well as the depth and quality by cases.
So I want to listen to some of 𝗪𝗫𝗄𝗄's because people are saying it was real bad. So this guy just came prepared. It's just like tons of case law and dog bite cases. Hank Brennan is not a doctor. I don't know if anyone has the timestamp for when Marie Russell tells him that, but let me play some of 𝗪𝗫𝗄𝗄's closing here.
the conviction was overturned because the prosecution called the pain spill expert was found to be prejudicial because the expert relayed their past experience about pain spills. Exactly what Dr. Russell did in this case. No more, no less. Her past experience treating injuries that were reported as dog bites. A person with a past experience with pain spills. The court was very specific in 𝗻𝗏𝗃 about why this was improper and why it was prejudicial. It said that just because a witness has experience or a particular experience and decides to use that as a methodology does not make it methodology. And it's just like Dr. Russell's testimony. There was nothing about it that employs methodology. In 𝗻𝗏𝗃, pardon? Thank you. In 𝗏𝗃. Direct the court to page 39. And talk about when the expert used methods to determine that pain support spills. And the problem, in this case, was reversed. The court said, instead, meaning the expert, he simply relayed his past experiences working with and around pain and drew conclusions therefrom. That is exactly what Dr. Russell has done. She's relayed her past experiences working with and around treating dog bites and drew her conclusions from that. It's like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 versus 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. I was saying that wrong as well.
All right, I'm going to play another part here. That we got to play the FBI part. We got to get to this 304:28. I want to play this part.
Discussed with the defense other information in this case, didn't you, about the accident and about people's opinions? You've discussed that as part of your opinion, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that the U.S. Attorney's Office employed a deputy medical examiner to look at these bites? And then he had commented that the wounds at 2 to 3 millimeters up to 7 centimeters were documented on Mr. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃's right arm, and the injuries do not photographically appear to be, nor are described as puncture bite wounds, and thus are highly unlikely to be the result of an animal bite attack. Did you get that expert opinion from the United States Attorney's Office when they investigated this case to consider?
Look at Paul. Look at Paul. Look at Paul smiling. Look at hold on.
No, I did not get that, but
puncture bite wounds, and thus are highly unlikely to be the result of an animal bite attack. Did you get that expert opinion from the United States Attorney's Office when they investigated this case?
Look at Paul smiling. Okay, so this is obviously that they loved this one, bringing this up. So apparently he claims that's, is this in the 𝗃𝗏𝗃 report? I have questions. He claims that first of all, I love how all of a sudden they are embracing what the FBI says in their report. The FBI also says John wasn't hit by a car. That was also in the FBI report, that John wasn't hit by a car and the car did not get its, minor scratches from running down a 6'2", 220-pound man. Okay. But apparently they say that now an expert determined that those were not from a dog, right? Okay. So my question to this is, where was this in the first trial? I mean, I know Lally's not the brightest bulb on the tree. I know that. But you're telling me they claim that they read this entire report, and somehow Adam Lally is so incompetent that he missed some sort of doctor opining that those were not dog bites on John O'Keefe's arm. This is what they're saying. This is like that, and they just failed to bring this up in the first trial. What? I have questions. Okay. But here's the problem for them with this. Okay. First of all, I'd like to read the whole thing. And secondly, it's kind of like the Quantico trained technician in the FBI report who determined that 227 did in fact happen. Are you going to bring them on? Because if not, you can't use it at trial. Are you going to is this doctor going to testify? And so we're going to bring FBI investigation into it. Okay. I'm all for it. Let's bring the FBI investigation into this. Let's make it open the door. Do it, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Or else what are we doing here? What else is the point of bringing this up?
To consider as part of peer review. Objection, Your Honor.
No, I did not get that, but...
Did you say you did get that?
No, I did not get that. However, I have a comment about that.
Go ahead, please.
Not very many medical examiners have the experience that first of all, have experience with dog bites, seeing hundreds and thousands of dog bites and treating them. And not very many medical examiners have even autopsied a case of dog bites. So although some physicians have certain opinions based on what they know, they don't have my experience.
Do you know if Mr. Walsh has your experience or not?
All right, who's
the gentleman who gave this opinion that was employed by the federal government? Do you know if he had your experience or not?
Employed by
Mr. Walsh. John Walsh.
No, I don't.
John
so he could have more
Walsh.
experience for all you know.
Oh, I'm highly unlikely.
Okay,
highly unlikely.
I think I have at least as much experience as any other possible person in the country. And I have it from both aspects, from the clinical aspect and from the forensic aspect.
Did you review the opinion of Dr. Kenneth Kinsey?
That's I mean, that's like I love the confidence. So you think you're more qualified than anyone in the country? Yeah. I'm Dr. Marie Russell, motherfucker. you heard about me? You really think you're the most yeah, you should be fucking honored to have me in your goddamn courtroom. I've been a cop, an ER room doctor, physician, seen testified at trials. I'm Dr. Marie Russell. Don't you ever forget that, young man. Sit down, nerdlinger. Like, I love their answers. Like it was supposed to be like, oh, zing, you think you're the best? Yeah, motherfucker. I don't think, I know. I'm Dr. Marie Russell. You are, I honor you with my presence being here. Like, this is a gift. Sit down and shut up. Bitch ass.
Said that those injuries were not caused by a canine?
Dr. Who?
Kenneth
Dr. Who?
Kinsey.
No.
Dr. Kenneth
If you look, I
Kinsey.
believe Mr. O'Keefe's arm were completely bent when he sustained the injuries. A lot of them match up. They're a continuation of another injury.
And I don't even know who Dr. Kinsey is.
Okay.
Is that
So
a medical doctor?
So you don't have any peer review at all. You have nobody who's given an opinion similar to yours about this being dog bites, do you?
Okay, so stop. Dr. Kenneth Kinsey. Who is this guy that says it's not? So I Googled, let's Google Dr. Kenneth Kinsey. And what are people saying in the chat about this dude? All right. So, oh, he was in the 𝗏 trial. What did he do? What kind of doctor is he?
Deputy sheriff, which was free,
That's
to be positive. So that were pitched by a lot of expert witnesses for the defense. Kenneth Lee Kinsey, and I'm the owner operator of Kearney, Kinsey and Associates LLC. My degree is a degree in criminal justice. I have a PhD from Walden, and the year of graduation was 2019. I was raised modest means. My parents didn't have a lot.
What was this degree in?
My name is Kenneth Lee Kinsey, and I'm the owner operator of Kearney, Kinsey and Associates LLC. My degree is a degree in criminal justice. I have a PhD from Walden, and the year of graduation was 2019. I was raised modest means.
What was his
my parents
PhD
didn't
in?
have a lot, but they provided a lot of love. My father was a career firefighter. He retired. He didn't get in a lot of. It was shift supervised family. So on this journey, a beat investigator, just working cases on 3 weeks, and for me, bring several elements and put them together, and that code doesn't have to be my code, but you have to follow a code. But it's in that moment when you hear them call your name, and instantly you're like, "Am I?"
All right, so I need to find out about this guy. We're gonna learn about him on the spot. What is Kennedy PhD in what? Philosophy. Graduate of Clemson with the BS in resource management and then a master's in criminal justice. He's a doctor of philosophy. Are you fucking kidding me, Spanky? This is a doctor of philosophy? You gotta be fucking kidding me, Spanky. This is I am so embarrassed for the trolls. I am so embarrassed for them. Like, this was your fucking ace in the hole, bro. He's got a fucking philosopher. You know what philosophers would do in the apocalypse? Die. They're the most useless people ever. They have no skills at all. They just philosophize. It's nothing. Philosophy, dude. Oh my, to be or not to be. I mean, so I Google him, and then Brandy Churchwell comes up. My girl, Brandy Churchwell. And did she interview him? Let's see. How long? This is in July. And because I'm like, when did he say The Karen
some other
Reed
agencies behind that kind of strengthen it a little bit, and certainly some wound pathology. I know I have cases involving state agencies, specifically Highway Patrol, and the basic things are neglected for the that there's a sequence and there's multiple sizes. That's called noise treatment. But I've had people argue me, with that and say, oh no, they're all the same. I give them the measuring stick, they go look at it, and they're like, I never knew that. Well, unless you're trained to compare known to an unknown, then this might look like a canine injury to you, but it doesn't look like any canine injury I've seen. And it's all on one side, and I believe one to be a continuation of the other. But obviously, they didn't even consider that. And if they would have put it together, they might have figured out what that pattern injury was caused by, even if it wasn't caused by this accident.
So let me get this straight. Spanky is bringing up in court, like his evidence is that he watched Brandy Churchwell's YouTube interview with this guy. And in his comments on her YouTube, is this where he got it from? Is Brandy Churchwell's? That's wild. If Brandy Churchwell interviewed this guy and he said that I don't think those are dog bites. I don't think they are. If you look at the linear pattern, just don't line up none. You know what I mean? Just don't line up. I don't think so. That don't look like no incision to me. I got my PhD in philosophy. Okay. And my philosophy is that motherfucker got hit by a car. Ain't no dog biting a car. So I'm saying. Like, so that this, I can't believe this was Spanky literally just watches YouTube. I mean, he's entering letters into evidence, by the way, that like trolls are writing him saying Karen Reed sucks or something like that. Like he will, like, remember he had the tweets up? He entered that guy's tweets into evidence that had like 500 followers. Like, this is, I'm so embarrassed for them. This is going to be a more entertaining second trial. And he's going to try harder. But this is not going to work out well. It's just not. I can't believe it. Okay. Oh, Kinsey doesn't think he was hit by a car? I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, he doesn't think it was a car. So I'm making fun of him. Okay. So then, but he doesn't think it was a dog? So then where the fuck did the bites come from? Come on. He doesn't how can you not think it's a car or a dog? Oh God, these people with this third theory. Pick a side, I hate that shit. I was listening to Crime Weekly. I've been following. I've enjoyed their coverage of the Karen Reed thing, and then I listened to their summations, and I'm like, oh, they're retarded too. Like, oh, these guys are just fucking. Oh my God. Like some of these people with this thing, like, I'm not convinced Karen Reed did it, but I'm not convinced he went in the house either. Then what the fuck happened to him? What? Well, how the fuck did he die? I'm not sure. It could have been something else. What the fuck else could it be? Is a car or a dog? Okay. That's it. You get two choices. Car, dog, period. What else could it be? He's killing himself, trying to cut his wrists. He missed. What else is he doing? Pick one. Oh, good. So apparently everybody's like, that guy didn't say he was by the car. Okay. So but to me, it's like, if it's not one, it's the other. You got to pick one, Yeah. Maybe Jen McCabe gave him a French kiss. I don't know. Something like that. Flipperhead, say it again. What did Joe Flipperhead say? He does think it's the car, and the marks are under the car. Oh my God, that's even more retarded. But this is the guy under the car. So he got dragged. He went under the car. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Literally no one's saying that. Oh, I don't have a PhD in philosophy, though. I don't know. Undercarriage, like dude, that means the wheels literally ran. If he went under the car, that means his legs got run over by the wheels of the fucking car. He doesn't have any broken bones and or bruises. What the fuck you talking about? That makes no sense. No sense. You know what does make sense? He went inside and he got beat up and the dog bit him. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Good God, these fucking people are trying so hard. Anyway, let's see. Do we have any more timestamps I can play here? You have to watch your interview. Now I'm gonna watch. Now I have to. You're right. I have to watch the interview now. But I mean, do I have to? I'll watch it because I like Brandy. But I don't need to listen to that guy. I don't need to listen to anyone for an hour and a half telling me that John O'Keefe went under a car. I don't need to listen to that. I don't gain anything from that. I don't become a smarter person because of that. I don't gain new perspective because of that. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. You don't become a more well-rounded person by listening to stupid ideas. You know? So I don't need to hear that. So let's see. Do we have any more timestamps here? Huh. Somebody's talking about this Irish thing. Okay, I'm going to play the Irish part. 234.38. Thank you. Whoever did that. 234.38. You really, I heard this part too. I'm like, what?
And because you have no comparative standard, you don't have a standard injury where you can look at this and say it has 6 points of contact or 6 features of similarity. You don't have anything like that. You're simply relying on your personal empirical experience.
Well, no, I also saw these 2 punctures, the punctate wounds right there. And that made me think that it was more teeth than claw marks.
This here you're describing as punctate?
Punctate, yeah.
You never expect the benefit of seeing Mr. O'Keefe, did you?
Personally, no.
Did you know he was Irish? Light skin?
Makes sense with that name.
Freckles, moles, look at these. They're all over his body. You don't think the dog was puncturing up all over here, did you?
No.
Right, so these are the same. These little things, these skin blemishes,
He's
all over the body.
Irish?
Do you think that what you're describing as dog puncture wounds, you could be mistaken for just his skin and the different types of marks on his skin, like freckles or moles?
I don't.
I mean, really, this is your defense, Spanky? He's just Irish. Because us Irishmen, our arms all look like that. I'm Irish. Look at my arm. It's fucking like just covered, you know? Yeah, you might think that's like a dog. You might think that's a dog bite, but it's just a freckle. I'm Irish. Don't you know? It's basically the same thing. Look at it. It's the same thing. Are you kidding me right now, Spanky? You're Irish. Oh, goodness gracious.
I believe so, particularly since they're right where those wounds are, the abrasions are.
Well, wouldn't the skin blemishes be there before any abrasions?
I haven't seen a picture of him before this incident.
Right. Okay. So to get back to, we're now at, this is either a dog bite or it's a scratch. What is it about the top 2 that tell you it's a dog bite?
Would you rephrase that? Or, would you say it again?
You're saying these are either dog bites or scratches. That's what you're saying. I'm not sure which one, but it's definitely a dog. That's your position.
Yes.
Okay. What about these 2 are telling you that this is a dog bite?
I think I said it already previously, that they're parallel. They're parallel lines that seem to have these punctate lesions associated with them. And they're in and around the other lesions, I believe, are dog bites.
When a dog punctures and pulls, there's not an island of skin and then it goes back to the pole. The puncture starts at the pole and then it goes to the bottom, doesn't it?
There are no complete puncture wounds on this arm.
You just cited puncture wound as the reason why you think this was a dog bite. You said these aren't not a skin condition, rather they're puncture wounds, and that was the basis for saying these are bites. If you don't know if these are puncture wounds or not, how can you say these are dog bites?
First of all, I did not say, with all due respect, I did not say they were puncture wounds. They are punctate lesions.
Punctate. Yeah, she's just so sharp. I mean, he tried to school her, and man, she's just came back stronger. At one point, they asked her today, like, do you feel better or do you feel differently about how than when you testified in June? She's like, oh, I feel much more confident than I did. I'm much more confident of my findings than I was, back then. Much more confident. All right. Huh. Does anybody know the part? All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Ted Daniels had some good tweets I want to find. Let me pull this up. We're almost done. 𝗵𝗵, he's back. Biggest bombshell. The lady was a complete train wreck for Karen Reed. She was decimated by Hank. Was she though? Was she really? 𝗵𝗵? You fucking idiot. Okay. Let me pull up Ted. Because Ted had some good tweets. I was following his tweets today that I found interesting. Yeah, and of course he files a new motion to exclude the 𝗪𝗃 experts. He's scared of them. Brennan says the swabs were taken of all the holes on John O'Keefe's sweatshirt and no dog DNA was found. And he said, it's remarkable there's no dog DNA in any of the swabs. She goes, I disagree. I disagree. It's like, she's like, not, that means nothing. Well, there's some other ones. Let's see. I missed this one. The special prosecutor, Hank Brennan, is questioning her use of the word possibly in the previous testimony about his wounds being dog bites. She says Dr. Russell's opinion is subjective. Dr. Russell responds that she has years of experience and not just someone coming off the street. She called her characterization of her methodology offensive. Good for her. Good for her. Give it to him. She says there's no science or standard to determine the cause of John O'Keefe's arm injuries. The truth is, you don't know. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Yes. There's one part where she told him she wasn't a doctor. I don't know if anybody knows the timestamp of that. I want to hear that part. Oh, this is the part. Brennan asks Russell if she knew O'Keefe's DNA was found on the taillight. About Canton police officer Stephen Seraf's testimony that she said, this is all my fault. Like she's suddenly going to change her opinion. But like, well, did you know that Stephen Seraf testified for the first time that Karen Reed said, this is all my fault, something he didn't put in his report? Did you know that? Does that change your opinion about whether or not those are dog bites? She's like, oh, actually, it does. The science completely changes now. Actually, because fucking that fat piece of shit, Stephen Seraf, who just looks like the laziest cop ever. Just a guy who has never moved past patrolman because he's just a fat, lazy, government hack piece of shit. So he said something. Does that change your scientific opinion? Oh, as it turns out, it does. As it turns out, science literally changes when fat-ass Stephen Seraf says something. Oh, okay. In statements that Brennan says KR made to the Boston Magazine about, okay, it wouldn't help because those wounds were caused by a dog. Exactly. Like statements that KR made to Boston Magazine. Yeah, like that's what you have. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, all right. Anyway, I think we're about good. We hit we hit a lot of the big points here. Thank you guys who all left your timestamps. Those are very useful. I think a lot of them. And he thought the taillight was made of glass too. Oh my God, I can't with this guy. All right. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and read some turtle chats here to end the night? Let's see what we got here. First up, every PhD is a doctor of philosophy, people are saying. His PhD is in criminal justice from Walden University, which is a for-profit online university with no physical campus. This dude got his PhD from an online school. Oh. 549 Joe Flipperhead says to play. Okay, well, let's check that out. I trust Joe Flipperhead. Says a lot about this case when, you know, you trust a guy named Joe Flipperhead more than you do the police and the prosecution combined.
In that sweater.
Objection, Your Honor.
So I'm sorry, you said that's what you say, doctor? Is that,
Yeah,
is that
and
what
he
you
said,
say?
Mr. Brennan said that the shards were in the exact same location as those wounds.
Okay, let me rephrase that. The shards in the right arm of the sweater. The shards from the taillight that was shattered.
Yes.
Those shards. How many were there? How many?
I believe there were only a couple.
Why do you believe there were only a couple? Where did you read that?
This is what I was told.
This is you were told by who?
By defense.
Oh, so instead of looking at the actual criminalistic report, you simply rely on what they tell you to base your facts?
That's what I was told. Yes.
Wouldn't it be more prudent to actually look at the criminalistic report and make your own determination objectively and medically rather than regurgitate a point of the defense?
Well, I was told this morning you said that the sleeve was littered with glass, and I was told that it was not littered.
Have you ever looked at that criminalistic report?
I'd be happy to do so now.
I'm asking if you've ever looked at it before you offer this opinion.
No.
If the glass shards were in that sweater in the arm, and we know glass can cause a hole in a sweater and a fabric, can puncture it, and it can cause an abrasion to skin. Have you done any tests or studies to rule out that the broken taillight that was in the arm sleeve of Mr. O'Keefe, did you do any studies to rule out that it didn't cause those injuries?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to allow it.
The
Of course
glass
you are.
shards would not have caused all the round wounds in the sweater. Those holes. The defects in the sweater mostly were round. They were not slit-like defects that I would expect with glass or plastic.
You're telling us that a sharp piece of glass cannot cause a hole to a sweater?
No, I didn't say that. I said they would not, especially on multiple sites, the same exact type wound defect.
Did I miss when polycarbonate suddenly turned into glass? So suddenly that the taillight is made of glass, is that right? When did this happen?
If the glass was shattered and the glass had a number of pointy edges, wouldn't you agree with me that can cause a number?
Oh, the
of
glass.
punctures in somebody's arm?
Wait, so the cocktail glass did it now? The cocktail glass did. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're switching. Are they switching? So I can't keep up. So he's holding. This is a 𝗵𝗲. Like they're turning into 𝗵𝗲. I can't. The cocktail glass did it now. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
The glass went into the arm and then came out.
Yes, but they wouldn't look like that.
You don't have any past case of history to suggest what the glass shards would look like randomly when they hit somebody, do you?
That's incorrect. I have seen hundreds of motor vehicle accident victims who have been cut by glass. They don't look like
He's
that.
talking about the
Your
taillight?
glass just remained dormant in the sweater, but never protruded through the sweater and caused the abrasions. That's your opinion?
I didn't say
Your
that.
Honor, could we go sidebar on this one? I don't know.
I mean, you got to be shitting me. Oh, the fan's back.
Hey, doctor, is that
Yeah,
is that what
he
you
said
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I heard Nick called him 𝗵𝗲 on Court TV. I got to hear that. And that's got to be good. 𝗵𝗲. Did 𝗵𝗲 get mad about that? Like 𝗵𝗲 tried to get so mad. He's like, Nick's going to be on Court TV. How do you feel about that? Good for Nick. Nick's my homie. I'm glad he's on Court TV. Right. I'll be on here. I have my show at the same time. So, it wouldn't even work out. So it's fine. These people, they try so hard. All right, cool. All right. Let me read some turtle chats here. Sandy D sends $10 and says, I'm no crash daddy, but the only way a vehicle could cause the wounds on John's arm would be some kind of limited edition 2015 Mad Max mobile with sharp daggers jutting out of the taillights. Stop it, people. Free camera read. Exactly. Hanky's missing pocket protector sends $10 and goes, unfortunately, I think it's wishful thinking the new DA will be more eager to investigate and prosecute the Norfolk DA State Police, will more likely be a back the blue type, very adverse to the idea at any level. I'm a Republican. However, these things can be frustrating. We'll see. Kayla sends $5, says PhD is short for Doctor of Philosophy. I didn't know that, but now I know. It doesn't mean his degree is literally in philosophy. Well, thank you for pointing that out. So, but also I heard what's his PhD in then? What's his PhD in? Either way, I mean, do we like Kenneth Kinsey? Do we like him? Is that again? I don't know. Criminal justice. Criminal justice. Okay. Anyway, philosophy. I think I still laugh at it. I stand by the joke. I stand by the joke. Okay. Back to this. Romy sends $50. Ooh, thanks, Romy. It says random. But does anyone know if Alan Jackson's home is okay? The fires in LA are terrifying. I don't know, but probably. I'm guessing it is. Thank you. Sage sends $10. Goes, I'm no Einstein, but I can do 2 + 2. Hank not wanting Russell to testify and Hank not wanting Green to testify equals the text stream data is not beneficial for Hank. It's an interesting philosophy. Tick, Brenny boy. Yeah, TikTok Brenny boy. Yeah, we'll see. Sage also sends $25 and says, congrats on your victory. It's well-deserved. You never should have been in this position. The trash finally took itself out. I was today 8 years old when I found out the doctors do not diagnose patients. They only treat them. Thanks to Mr. Brennan, I found out today the medical school was lying when they taught me to treat the diagnosis of the patient. Exactly. The other Karen sends $15, goes, Turtle Boy, thank you for the positive news. Thank God for the positive news. In my opinion, Karen Reed's hearing today was aimed to sway public opinion. However, it will make the not guilty verdict easier for the defense. How? Find one juror who's a doctor or a nurse. There is no way they can convict. Questions. What if Proctor's fired? Will the defense call him anyway? I don't know. It's a good question. The Karen PS. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust myself here. The Karen PS. Oh, when you mentioned Grant's name earlier, I was reminded about the video reviewing Grant and Grant's motion encounters with police. I've never laughed so hard. Please do that again if you find more. Oh, yeah, that's right. All the police reports. Those were great. The dollhouse. All right. Courtney sends $5 and goes, when you say include the timestamps, people, no one followed the instructions in your teacher voice. I know they didn't. I know. Angel Australia sends $10, goes, fuck Brennan is such a cunt. Keep it up, Doc, from down under. Thank you very much, Angel Australia. We got Kelly sends $10, goes, evil Auntie Bev is allowing Hank the Christmas poo to attempt to get all of the experts out prior to the trial, the Christmas poo, because they know he's going to look like a piece of shit to the jury if he has to cross-examine these experts like he's doing. Listening to him go round in circles and watching Auntie Bev swing her chair around in circles are equally as infuriating. But 𝗃𝗍𝒄 in his closing was outstanding. I know. What's with that, Auntie Bev? Rachel sends $25 and goes, thanks to Turtle Boy for all you've done for Karen Reed. Today's hearing made me hate Brennan. I know. Biggest asshole and complete idiot. Karen Reed's new lawyer is phenomenal. Yeah, he's awesome. I agree completely. Rachel sends $25 and says, thanks to Turtle Boy for all you've done for Karen. No, I already read that one. Ash sends $5 and says, can you or someone else file a FOIA request to see how many hours Brennan has left on his contract? He must be running out of time with all these pointless motions and hearings. Well, I think he's doing a flat fee. So thank you, Ash. Ryan sends $25, says, just landed in Miami. Go Irish. A fake victim in KP not only wronged you, but their actions also created doubt, shame, and silence for women who are actually raped or abused. Shame on them. I hope they stop focusing on Karen and start righting the wrong. You know what, Ryan? That's a great point. You know, and that's what's hard about this. And Bradel said this in his closing today. It's like, this is what makes it hard for some victims to be believed. Real victims of domestic violence to be believed is when these people lie about it. Like, she's just sitting there lying about, like, it wasn't enough to lie about an assault. You have to add a rape. A rape. Please. Please. Give me a break. Rape. All right. Next up. Auntie Bev's attitude sends $25 and says, no, I already read that one. Okay, cool. Got some cash apps here to bang through. Let's see. We got Nancy sends $15 and goes, the Commonwealth motion regarding the ARCA testimony to prep for prosecution. Okay, thank you. Nancy sends $10 and goes, aren't all opinions subjective? Yes, they are. Nicole sends $5 and says, check on Brandy Churchwell's Twitter for Kinsey info. Okay, I'll check that after. Thank you, Nicole. Therese sends $5, says, tell the shark AJ to shave. He's hotter than that. I don't know. I think the beard plays. I disagree with that one. Thank you, Therese. Peggy sends $20 and says, please. No, I already read the one. Okay. Let me just refresh this one. Danielle sends $25 on the turtle chat and says, just saying hi. That's all. Hi. Thank you. Nicole sends $10 and goes, Brennan seems to be winging it. He isn't informed at all about the case, and it shows. He said so many lies in court today that could easily be disproven. Disregard my Cash App. It was before you spoke about Kinsey. Oh, excellent. So that's Nicole. You're the one who told me check out Brandy's. Okay, cool. All right. All right, cool. All right. Anyone else got anything, man? What do you just read some comments here? What do you guys think? Long day. Long day. Happy, great. I was happy with it, man. I'm sorry I missed all the Dr. Marie Russell stuff, but I'm telling you, man. And as interesting as that was, mine was a lot more entertaining. It was just, wait till you guys hear it was the most, I mean, there's been a lot of entertaining Turtle Boy restraining order hearing audio, court audio. This blew them all away. Like, if you were one of the 30 people in court today, you got a show, man. You got like a front row seat to just one of the most vile, disgusting liars ever. And you could, like, Tim Bradel put on a show today. He was fantastic today. Like, he was great today. And Mary Bagwell was just such a strong witness. Mary Bagwell told the truth about how the fake victim told her that the assault never happened. And then the fake victim cross-examined Mary Bagwell, and she just fucking held her own. Like, it was amazing to see. Like, but you got to see the 10-minute. Like, just imagine a scenario in which this happens. Fake victim has me on the stand and gets to ask me questions. Like, that happened today. That was wild. All right, cool. Yeah, the judge looked disgusted when Bradel played the recording of her threatening Mary, and it was funny because so she got to plead the fifth. So, okay. So the Mansfield police are filing a criminal complaint against her for threatening to kill Mary and her children. And that's not good. So that's not good. And she chose to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights not to answer questions about that. Like, she's the one trying to get the order and she's pleading the fifth. And so that when you do that, you get a lawyer, a free court-appointed lawyer. So the lawyer, they had to stop the trial, stop the case. They bring the free government lawyer up, and we played the tape for him. And he goes, that's not good. That's how he goes, that's not good. And then he goes over to her and whispers in her ear that she should take the fifth. You should definitely not. I would not answer questions about this. And so she literally invoked the Fifth Amendment in a case in which she's trying to get the order. That never happens. She's not you got a show today if you were in court. So, all right, cool. Anybody else have anything? You saw that happen today. Like, that is exactly what happened. Like, you saw put on her best lawyer. Tried to be a lawyer today. Tried to sound a lot smarter than I think she is. Do you think Bev will or won't allow Dr. Marie Russell? It's a good question. I think she's going to allow her. I mean, after today, how can she not? And I think Hank thinks she's going to allow her too. I don't understand what he thinks the point of all this was then. Just to bother them? Piece of shit. Was Christy there? I mean, Krusty can't be there because I'm there. I have a restraining order on her. Go Lions. Yeah, we'll see. Number 1 seed. I think she's got to allow it. I do think she's going to allow it. LG versus Bradle was everything to see in person, man. It was just, it's great. Great to see. It's very satisfying. But, all right, guys. I guess we're going to call it a night, but I love all you fine people. And thanks for the support. Thanks for being there today. And we will see you guys all. No, not all. We'll see you guys on Thursday for Sex Cult. All right. And I got court again on Friday, but I'm told it's not going to be that interesting a thing because Mello's not showing up. Like we're supposed to have Mello. He's supposed to take the stand as a witness, but he's still doing this I'm sick thing. So we don't know. We don't know what the fuck's going on with Mello. But anyway, guys, we'll see you guys soon. Peace to you, bum crease. Take it easy, Turtle Riders.